What's up, everybody?
It's great. I just did all that stuff for nothing.
No, I think they heard you. I think they just lost it now.
You did
Not
it,
sure.
you did it for us. Dollar sign, just since no one can hear us right now.
Wait, no, I think they can now.
Mic check. Can everyone hear us now?
Can you guys hear me, baby?
So
Sweet.
I don't hear anything.
Wait 10 seconds, and they'll be like, yeah. There's a 10-second latency.
Yeah.
Yep, it's back now.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Well, I'm gonna bring it back
now
since you guys couldn't hear us.
I hear it now. So
Yeah, it's back.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the INSOMNIACS Podcast. We have a great show for you all. We had a little technical difficulty a second ago where we weren't getting audio through. But still, thank you guys for staying around with us. I just want to do a quick roll call of our panel members. CC, what's going on?
Hey, what it do, baby?
All right. Dollar sign. Let them know what it is, man.
Oops.
All right. Yeah, fumble. CoolHandCruz, what it do, baby?
Man, I'm still keeping it cool after dollar signs fumble.
Okay, it's all good. It's it's all good. Last but not least, on our panel, iTrip, what's going on, man? iTrip, you there?
He's muted.
Shit, my bad. Oh my god. Yeah. Hey everyone. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's not a show if we don't have a couple fumbles here and there. Getting on to our special guests, which I feel bad because they had some great things to say, but all you at home couldn't hear it. First and foremost, the host of Crossfire and a member of the M&C show, we got Mooch. What up, Mooch?
What is up, buddy? Listen, I got news for you. I would love it if I could always do a second take for any introduction. So this is great. No, I appreciate you guys having us here. This is amazing, dude. It's always good to help our buddy Noval too, who does such a great job at M&C, and meeting all the guys here. You know what I mean? Dolla, Cool Hand, iTrip, and CC. Guys, just awesome to have you guys invite us on the show. So let me tell you something. Lots of energy tonight. Lots to talk about. Let's get into it, buddy.
Let's get into it. Thank you, Mooch. And last but not least, we got the one, the only, Crapgamer Reviews. What's going on, Crap?
What's going on? I don't have nearly as much energy as Mooch, but thankfully, like all the shows we do together, he'll carry the podcast. So I'm happy for that. So
There you go.
I'm good. But it's really, I'm really happy to be here. It's fun to be here and, talking video games and stuff like that. That's always the best time for me. We can just sit back and kind of chill out and just talk video games. It's awesome.
Love it, especially on launch week. So got a lot of things to get into tonight, and
Absolutely.
it's going to be a great show. Cool Hand, let us into what games are releasing this week.
Man, this is a huge week, as you said before. It's launch week, so we're gonna kick it off with what's coming out for Xbox and what's coming out for PlayStation, given the time frame. So first things first, coming out tomorrow, Dirt 5 for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. And it will be releasing on the Series X on November 10th and the PS5 on November 12th. Also coming out, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, coming out for PC, PlayStation, Xbox November 6th. Now we're moving on to the next gen releases. So here we go. Assassin's Creed Valhalla coming out for PC, Stadia, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and the PS4 November 10th. But it also comes out for the PS5 November 12th. Borderlands 3, Xbox Series X November 10th, PS5 November 12th. Bright Memory, Xbox Series X November 12th. Destiny 2, also coming out launch, Beyond Light. PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Stadia November 10th and 12th. Devil May Cry, Xbox Series X.
God damn. Hell yeah. Keep it coming.
Everything coming. I'm going to just start it off like this. Everything coming out on the 10th. So basically, Devil May Cry Special Edition, Dirt 5, Enlisted, Evergate, The Falconer, Fortnite, Fuser, Gears Tactics, Liftoff, Drone Racing, Maneater, NBA 2K21, No Man's Sky Next Generation, Observer System Redo, Planet Coaster Console Edition, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Tetris Effect Connected, Warhammer Chaos Bone, Watch Dogs Legion, all and the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series X all coming out November 10th.
Thank you.
I'm glad you went with the list because that would have been crazy.
Now, hold on. Now we move on to the 12th.
There it is.
What I'm looking forward to. This is what I need right here. Assassin's Creed, Astro's Playroom, Borderlands 3, Bugsnax, Demon Souls, Devil May Cry, Dirt 5, Esports, Life of Tycoon, Family Feud, Farming Simulator 19, Fortnite, Godfall, Handball 21, Just Dance 2021, Maneater, Marvel Spider-Man, PS5, Miles Morales. NBA 2K21 for the PS5, No Man's Sky Next Generation, Observer System Redo, Overcooked, All You Can Eat, The Pathless, Planet Coaster, and the PS5 Digital and Disc. All coming out November 12th.
Well, the 12th sounds stacked. I don't know about you guys, but
And Watch Dogs Legion.
Wow.
And Watch Dogs Legion, but
Oh yeah, that's a stacked day. That list was so long. I went and used the bathroom, came back. He was still reading.
Oh my goodness, that was a mouthful.
That was the longest game release portion we've had of the show ever. So shout out to Next Gen coming. We're all super excited. But Mooch, like you said, the 12th is stacked. I mean, Yeah, we talked about a little bit on M&C. You know what we're excited for. I know, Crap, you said Miles Morales, and Mooch, you were saying Demon Souls. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's. I mean, next week's a big week, no matter how you look at it. It's always great when we have. It's kind of surreal, to be honest with you, because yes, there's going to be a lot of technology in these boxes that kind of differentiate where we are right now in this generation. But at the same point, you got to stop and say it's just surreal, because I feel like the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X were just coming into their prime, and it's like we're now just jumping into another generation, which is fine. By the way, I welcome that with open arms. I'm okay with new generations every 5 years. But I mean, at the same time, it's exciting. They're both coming out back to back pretty much. Of course, I did a video on it the other day. It's just how I feel, and it's just how things are just kind of just laying out as we move forward. Clearly, next week, there's a little bit more, I would say, this is personal opinion, anticipation and hype around the PS5, mainly because of their first party. A lot of people, and it's something that I'm coming to terms with. You say you're never too old to learn something new. And I never thought I would ever come to a console launch time where a lot of gamers were not that interested or seem not to be that interested in new games or not needing a new game for a platform. I'm definitely well aware of what the technology is in both boxes as far as what's going to provide to the consumer. But at the end of the day, when you get home and you open the box and you plug it in, I mean, guys, listen, I've been alive for many a new console generations, and I've never ever come home with a box and not had a game to play. That's not first party. So, and it was funny. I shout out to Optimus Code. I had Code on Crossfire about 2 weeks ago. It might have been 3 weeks ago, and I said to him, Code, and Code always says, he's been around doing more console launches than I have. And I said, Code, have you ever brought a console home and not had a first party game to play on it? And he was about to answer, and he goes, no. Never. So it's unusual. It's definitely something different. But it's like I say, it's one of those situations where, and I say this to Crap all the time. People say, well, Mooch, if that's how you feel, well, then why are you getting the Xbox Series X? Well, shout out to Code who's in the chat. Good to see Code's here, Saltiest Gaming. Good to see you guys here. But the reason is listen, when it comes down to its dollars and cents, right? Like literally, GameStop is going to give me $200 for my One X. That means I walk in for a $500 product and I'm walking out paying only $300 for it. And the console that I bring home plays the games that my ex was playing anyways. So if you stop and think about it, for all the people who say, well, I'll wait. I got news for you. There's no sense in waiting on the PS5 or the Xbox One X if you're gaming a lot, because frankly, tell me the next time you think that the MSRP off the shelf for the Series X or the PlayStation 5 is going to be $299. You're talking about probably about 3 or 4 years from now. So you could be experiencing these games and playing the better hardware, day one for the same price that you'll have to wait for 4 months for it to come down to that price on the shelf. So that's why I'm doing it. But in all honesty, I'm much more excited and anticipating November 12th.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better. It is not only is it weird that that there's a console, should I say, launching without a first party game. It's first time that a console was, unless my memory serves me wrong, the first time we've had two variants of the same. Well, no, they're not the same. Two different variants coming out at the same time at launch. So definitely, different time in gaming, and it's crazy to see where we've come from, and where the future's headed. Crap. I mean, how you feeling, man? We were pretty much a week out from launch.
Well, some days I'm a little bit more hyped than others, right? Like some days it's just like, and it's not because of they haven't done a good job or anything like that. It's just that with everything that's going on in the world right now, it's just sometimes it's just harder to be excited about that stuff. And then other days you wake up and you're like, oh man, we're only like today was like, wow, only 7 days away. That's pretty kick ass, and I can't wait to play Spider-Man or whatever on my new TV with my new PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that it kind of comes and goes in like waves or whatever. But overall, it's just kind of an unprecedented situation where we have all this stuff that's going on, but we also have these new consoles that are absolutely, something that I'm super excited about. And, again, the games themselves seem like, I wish that we could have more games, but at the same time, I'm thankful for the ones we have. So I don't want to look like a jerk and be like, oh man, well, I wish everything wasn't delayed. Like I wish that we could have Halo for Xbox. I wish that we could have, so I'm sure if there wasn't what's going on, maybe Ratchet and Clank would be ready for launch or so. I wish that these things were the way they are, but unfortunately that's not the way it works. But I am very excited by what's coming out, and just I want to be able to get that PlayStation 5 in my hand, more so than the Xbox, just because the Xbox at the end of the day feels more like, the more I read about it and stuff, the more it seems like it's like a 1X 2.0 type situation right now. So, like the PlayStation 5 seems like that leap that we're looking for. And when it comes to the Xbox, not so much. So, yeah, like I'm more excited for that. And, I'm waiting to see what comes about. Maybe there's going to be some streams or something. But it's going to be a good time, man. I'm stoked.
All right, are you looking forward to that Gears Tactics on the Series X?
No. Not at all. I was like, listen, I don't like XCOM. I don't like,
What's the
that stuff's not.
What's the Series X? It sounds like medicine.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's a recycled PC game or whatever. Like, I understand. I knew what they were gonna do when that game came out on PC first. I was like, they're not gonna put it out on Xbox because they want that to launch with the next one. That's like a piss poor idea because that game is super niche to begin with. And, you can imagine not everybody's like super into being able to play like an XCOM type game. Like, Mooch, are you even going to bother downloading that, Mooch?
No, that game never hit the radar. I mean, it's just not my bag. You know what I mean? I've never really got into that. So that's what a lot of people have been saying to me. They're like, well, Mooch, there's Gears Tactics. And don't forget, there's Halo Master Chief Collection. Like, I mean, I actually renamed
2014.
I renamed it. It's Halo Master Chief Collection ... again.
Remastered.
It's it is what it is.
120 frames, and look, they might put in.
I can't take the fun away from somebody. That's what they dig, crap. That's what they dig. But I got to be honest with you. I played Halo on 360. I played Halo again on the Xbox One in the Master Chief Collection. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm probably and you see a lot of people say, "Oh my God, 120 frames! I'm definitely gonna try this out." But listen to the way that they phrase it. It's definitely a great PR move on Twitter. I'm gonna try it out. Yes, they're going to put it on. They're going to record a bit of it. Maybe take a picture, put it on Twitter, and that's it. Like, they're not gonna play all 4 of those campaigns again at 120 frames. It's more than like. Don't get me wrong. Are there gonna be Halo diehards that do? Yes.
Fucking right, I will. Hell yeah, I will.
Holy shit. iTrip, I didn't know. When did iTrip get in the house?
It was the only fucking reason I got an Xbox. That's the game plan is to run all those motherfucking campaigns on Legendary and fucking. Oh my God, yes. I'm going to do that with a squad, yo.
Somebody get this guy a Q-Bert. Listen, I got news for you. I mean, look at it. There's no doubt we all have our favorites, right? I mean, I got my favorites from the late 80s, early 90s, but I mean, I put those things in the museum. After a while, you got to move on. You know what I mean? It's like, don't get me wrong. It's great to be a diehard. Like, listen, you want to go back and say, let's talk nostalgia. Let's talk nostalgia. We could use another Castlevania while we're at it, right? I mean, there's a lot of great games out there that are amazing, right? But at the same time,
hell of a drug.
Right? It certainly is, but I definitely don't want, like, let's say Nintendo comes out with a Switch Pro. I don't want to see the original Castlevania remastered edition. Like, make a new one, or let's just keep it in the museum. Like, what are we doing?
We're waiting. We gotta wait, like always. We gotta wait a little longer for Halo Infinite, but I don't mind. I still play the living shit out of Master Chief Collection still.
God bless you, Trip.
But yeah.
My big question here is how many hours can you really spend swinging around New York City by yourself?
Oh, listen! Let me tell you about swinging to the left and swinging to the right. I hope you guys got your tambourines.
Until you try it.
Do it.
You know what I mean? Let me tell you. He said, "Do it." I gotta be honest with you, man. It is what it is. Like, you're right. I mean, don't get me wrong. That is a good point. But let's stop and think about that for a second. So if you take the 2018 Spider-Man, and I platinumed it, but let's say you didn't. Let's say you just beat it and had a good time with it. You're talking about, what, maybe 15 to 18 hours? I don't know. I don't remember the runtime on that. And Sony does a bad job of clocking time. It's not on the app, or maybe it's on the new one, but it wasn't on the old app. like Microsoft does for a lot of their games. But the point of the matter is that you're talking about 18 hours. Now you're talking about maybe another 7-hour, extension with Miles Morales. That's so better side. Let's just play devil's advocate. You're talking 22, 23 hours, right? I mean, ask Trip right now how many hours he's got into the Master Chief Collection and the original Halos. It's probably just short of his birth year. You know what I mean? It's like, so what I'm saying to you is like, it's not apples to apples. So I understand if you're saying you're not in the mood to swing to the left, swing to the right. But the point of the matter is that when it comes down to it, that's a lot less time, and it's still a new experience. It's a game I haven't played yet. I've never played as Miles Morales. I've never experienced what they had, and we're still going to see some of the power of the PS5 come through. Not as much as if it wasn't a cross-gen experience, but you're going to see a good amount next week.
Yeah.
You're also a Demon Souls fan, so
I can appreciate
if you get tired of that, Mooch, you'll just pop in Demon Souls or whatever. You know what I mean?
That is correct.
Like, you're not really just tied to just one specific thing, and certainly not one specific like older thing. And that game, even though it's a remake, looks better than anything we've seen so far on next gen. So, I think that some kind of credence have to go into that as well. Like for me, I've never heard anyone go, and I'm going to get me that so-and-so console to play old games. Like specifically, even the Xbox One, I bought that instead of a PS4. It had Killer Instinct. It had Forza Motorsport 5. It had Rise. It had Dead Rising 3. Within the first 3 months, it had Titanfall. Later on that year, it had Sunset Overdrive, the Halo Master Chief Collection. It also had Forza Horizon 2, all within that first launch year. That's the reason why I bought an Xbox One. If I could have played all that stuff on my 360, I certainly wouldn't have upgraded. Certainly not. Okay, like there's just no reason to do that. Like when I bought an Xbox 360, I got an Xbox 360 because I saw Cliffy B's ass playing that on G4 TV, playing Gears of War. Yeah, right? I knew I had to play Gears of War. I had to. I bought a PS3 because I wanted to play Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots. I knew I had to play that game. Okay, like I'm not gonna buy these consoles to play old stuff. That's not really a valid argument for me because you could just save your money. Like for me personally, I create content. I have to be able to talk about these things in podcasts. That's the only reason I bought a Series X. Only reason. If I were just a regular everyday person, there wouldn't have been no way they could have talked me into buying one because there's absolutely nothing available on that console that I can't play elsewhere. Plus, I have an Xbox One X. It's 3 years old. Microsoft had put out 3 AAA exclusives on it, and the entire time it's been out. 2 Forzas and a Gears. I mean, come on. Yeah. At some point, you just got to kind of like, no wonder, like, and people wonder, oh, you sound bitter. Like, I mean, listen, this has Xbox One X 2.0 written all over it. And I understand, well, they're buying these studios and all this stuff. But you also have to understand my point of view. Microsoft has never created anything on their own. It's a hit. Outside of maybe Forza, everything. Halo, they bought it. Gears, they bought it. Everything they've done, they bought. Now listen to this. They gave up in 2015. They gave up. Microsoft gave up on this generation. Gave up. You can look at the facts. They canceled. That's when they canceled a bunch of games. That's when they closed a bunch of studios. 2015 was the last time they announced a AAA exclusive, which was Sea of Thieves. We did get one more after that, but that's Avowed. So since 2015, we've got one AAA announcement, which is Avowed, and that game was likely in development before Microsoft bought them. So if Microsoft hadn't bought them, how many new AAA IPs would they have worked on? Like, again, one in 5-6 years? Like, I mean, come on. I mean, you gotta be a little bit smarter than that. The funny thing is, people ask me, "Oh, do you feel a little bit vindicated?" Because all the reviews came out today, and they all noticed the stunning lack of content on Xbox, right? And most of them even mentioned, "Well, it doesn't look like there's going to be any content for years to come." And I said the same thing 2 years ago, because it doesn't take a genius to look at each of these. Look, you don't got to be an insider, right? You can look and go, well, let's take a look at the studios that Microsoft bought. What are their portfolio? What are they working on? What are they releasing? How soon can they come out with something else? I said back then, me and Mooch both said this. They're not going to have anything till 2023, 2024. Yep. I said this. I was called a fearmonger. We were called radicals. We were called haters, flip-floppers. We were everything under the book, right? Just because I used common sense to say that. Right? And it turned out to be true. Do I feel good about it being right? No. I also feel like if all these other people would have spoke up, maybe something could have changed, because if people would speak with their wallets, and instead, Microsoft listens to the people out there that are going, exclusives don't matter. We don't care. But obviously Microsoft knows they matter, or else they wouldn't be buying these studios. So, the people are just kind of really, in my opinion, a lot of them are just falling in line with what Microsoft wants. I got suckered by Phil Spencer multiple times. Dude promises content all the time. Every E3 is going to be the biggest one with the most exclusives ever. You can look that up too. Google it. Every single one. Isn't that right, Mooch?
Yeah.
Every single one. Every single E3. Phil Spencer's like, this is going to be our biggest one ever. We're going to have the most exclusives ever. It's going to be great. We're going to be amazing. I'm super excited. And then he's like, I'm more excited about the stuff we didn't show.
Yep.
You know, it's all about playing your games where you want, pooping where you want, how you want. You know, grab that toilet paper, but don't forget we got xCloud. You know, like, I mean,
to be fair,
come on.
They also got a fridge coming out.
Yeah, I mean that's the real game changer.
Shout out the
that's the real game changer. I think the main thing for me personally is people will use this excuse, right? And we can debunk this now, right? Games take time, right? I mean they do take time, right, fellas? They take time. Yeah, but Spider-Man came out in 2018. We're getting Miles Morales in 2020 and Ratchet and Clank in 2021. God of War came out in 2018. We're going to get the next one in 2021. Horizon Zero Dawn came out in 2017. We're going to get the next one in 2021. You're talking 2, 3, 4 years. And those are quality titles, more quality than Microsoft's put out in an entire generation. Right? So what's taking Microsoft so long? In fact, we're going to get Gran Turismo 7 next year early. And the last Gran Turismo came out in 2017. Same time as Forza Motorsport 7. But where's Forza Motorsport? Forza Motorsport doesn't look like it's going to come out till at least 2023.
Yeah.
Right? So what's the deal there? There's something up there. There's something kind of weird going on there with that whole leadership. Then we got the leadership issues with 343, people out, people in. Then you got problems at the coalition. What the hell was Rod thinking? He's gone now. He's like, hey, I ruined this franchise. Let me get the hell out of here. You know, and who's even in charge over there now? Nobody knows. Like, it's some nobody. So the main thing that I noticed about Sony Studios, man, they have a presence online, right? They have these leaders that you know. Cory Barlog, right? That guy, you know him. He's on Twitter. He's outspoken. You know, Druckmann from Naughty Dog. That guy, he's outspoken. He's out there. Okay, Ted Price from Insomniac Games and those guys, they're out there.
Yeah. Herman Hulst was the head of Guerrilla Games. Now he's the head of Sony or PlayStation.
Exactly. He's out there. So I think that's the big difference. I think no matter what, you can have the greatest talent in the world, but until you put it all together and have that leadership and you can prove that you can do that over and over again, I don't think people should trust that they can do that over and over again. You know, like that's my opinion on it. I'm not saying that they will never have anything good. I'm saying I don't really trust them to be able to do anything until they do it.
I think when it comes down to it, if you taking what Crap just said and kind of just kind of needling in on one particular thing that just makes me scratch my head. A lot of things I kind of say, okay, I get it, no problem, this and that. I actually don't even have a problem with Turn 10 taking a few extra years because they were pumping out one every 2 years, and I figured that was just not changing the model of the game enough as much as we wanted. But the one thing I got to say though is like Halo. Halo is a cause of concern, and it's 343 I'm talking about, not actually Halo itself. Yep. And what I mean by that is what Crap said. 2015 is when Halo 5 came out, right? Now we're going into 2020. We're in 2020. We're going into 2021, and we're talking about it got delayed. So we're already on a delay. We're looking at earliest. We're looking at 6 years after the last time your last game came out. And that's that. And you have to understand something. There was a lot of rumors, a lot of press that said Microsoft realized they lost the 8th generation, the one we're in currently, until next week. They realized they lost it early on when Phil took over. He said, let's just make sure that our next generation going in, the Gen 9, is going to be absolutely one for the ages for us. So I had spoke to some people behind the scenes, and they said, Mooch, what you don't really know is Microsoft is going full steam ahead for next generation. We don't want to use the words we've given up on this generation, but they're not focused so much on this generation, meaning Gen 8. They're aiming full efforts on the Gen 9. So I heard that years ago. I said, okay, great. I'm going to take that little ace card, put it in my back pocket. I'll wait on it, see what happens. And as we creep closer and closer and closer, you do have to realize something. To anybody that's listening, and this includes myself because I'm getting one next Tuesday, anybody that's bringing home an Xbox Series X, we haven't seen any games played on the console yet. Like that aren't Gears 5, right? Or something that's a back compact game. So, you know what I mean? We haven't seen Valhalla played on it. We haven't seen Watch Dogs Legion. We've seen snapshots, but I'm just trying to say, like, the customer hasn't seen these things. Some of the influencers and media have, but we haven't. And, like, that's the thing. So when it comes down to it, you have a 343 Industries, which has, 600 and some people, $500 million budget. and just before launch, which don't say it doesn't matter because it does matter. Microsoft put all their eggs in their Halo basket, and now there's no Halo. So think about it this way. Let me ask everybody on the panel this, not just the audience. Let me ask the panel. Guys, just pretend for a second now, right? Phil Spencer literally is your boss, your immediate boss, like right above you. He's your immediate boss. And he said to you, you are in charge of the only game we're launching with. You're in charge of the only game we're launching with. Would you or would you not have your finger on the pulse of that game? Right? That's a rhetorical question, but hear me out. What I'm trying to say to you guys is this. There's such a disconnect between, and I don't know this, I'm just using figures' names because this is all we know, from where we stand and what we read. Somewhere between Phil, Matt Booty, Bonnie Ross, and then her folks below her, there's a major disconnect. If you know that's the only game you're launching with, and it's your number one title, it's your flagship franchise title, can you really have a lot of room, especially since you haven't had a game out of Halo since 2015, you haven't had a new IP since 2018, and you're launching a new console, you really kind of lay dormant for this generation. Your big attack is 2020. Wouldn't you have your finger on the pulse? And then you saw tweets come out right after the July show when everybody didn't really like what they saw from Halo Infinite. And you had tweets coming from 343 saying, we're going to ship, everything's on time, please don't listen to people, they don't know what they're saying, we're ready to go. And then literally a few weeks later, they're not ready to go. So there's a mess there from the top to the bottom. And that's
why they got rid of them. Because
there you go, Trip. But they did, but they should have got rid of them in 2018.
They should.
That's the problem.
They got rid of him early, but
whoever that is. I'm not saying who. I'm just saying whoever the problem is. That's Phil's job to know. He does know. He knows. Believe me, now he knows.
Oh yeah.
So whatever they're doing to switch things up, good on them. But so, like I said, take as much time as you need and do the switching up that you need. But realistically, there's a problem there, and there's been a problem there. And we've all been saying, listen, we sit in our homes playing games, talking games. We don't know. But we all called this a long time ago. And now they're realizing it in 2020, a week and a half before the console launches? It seems odd. Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, even last week, you had the reports of on 2 different days, two different heads of 2 different studios, resigning.
Rare and then 343.
Yeah, Rare and 343. And 343 in the news again for something negative. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely hurt. And it's definitely something that it's almost like punching a blind kid right now. You know what I mean? Like we know what games are going to look like and play like on the PS5. We don't know that on the Xbox. And that's the sad part because literally for Xbox, you're less than a week away and it's here. Here and you guys have nothing to show for it. And what blows my mind is, people who are willing to die on this hill for something that's not coming for a long time. So it's cool if you want to sit and wait, but I'm going to sit and enjoy Spider-Man and Demon's Souls.
Hold on. I want to let our resident Xbox guys, because that was a lot to take in, and I want to hear their thoughts on this and give them the
absolutely
some time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is...
Oh, 1 second. Before you do that, I just... shout out to everyone in the chat. We hit 55 concurrent viewers. I'm in 5 minutes. Everyone keep your eyes on the chat. I'm dropping a PSN code. Just to celebrate, we have Mooch and Crap on. This is great. I love the conversation right before launch. Let's get into it. Ding, ding, ding. iTrip, Mike is yours.
Ding, ding. No, I mean, for me, I'm all about multiplayer games, and for me, I just mainly play with people I've been playing with since high school. So that's my main thing, and the Xbox being able to do 120 frames per second for first-person shooters. That's my main draw. I'm more excited about being able to play Call of Duty that way with my peoples. I mean, I'm all about cross-play or cross-platform play. I mean, this is the first time I am considering getting a PlayStation, though. I'm not gonna lie about that, but yeah, I'm still full steam ahead. Like, I'm still so excited for the box. I don't know.
All right.
Well, no, I think my question for Trip is like, and Trip, I mean this wholeheartely. Like, we're big fans too. That's the thing. It's people kind of, we all get it off the beaten path. And a lot of times, like Sports Center is now 24/7. News is 24/7, 365. So after a while, you start to get a little bit more into opinion-based podcasting. That happens as people ask your opinion, you go deeper into it. But like, we're all fans of Xbox. Like, Trip, what is it when you say I'm a multiplayer game? Like, the game. I mean, except for Halo and Gears, like Call of Duty's everywhere, right? Like Fortnite's everywhere, Warzone's everywhere.
But for me, gaming's about playing with my friends, like people that I've grown up knowing with, and they all have Xboxes. If they all have PlayStations, then it's probably a different story.
But if I so basically your allegiance is that if I bought your four most dedicated friends PlayStation 5s and they started playing Call of Duty over there, that's you're all this an Xbox fit, you're dropping that like a bad habit all of a sudden?
Well, I'll keep the box for Halo, but no, yeah, I'll definitely get a PlayStation.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's about the
Call of Duty has crossplay now, so you don't have to buy the same things as your friends. Also, it's 120 frames per second multiplayer on PS5 as well. So literally,
That's my
there's
point.
But again, all these same friends still play Halo, so that's our still main draw. I mean, a majority of them would say the same thing. Like that's literally the only reason they have an Xbox. But also, this is also the first time that they're also considering getting PlayStations as well. And like,
that's an interesting point, Trip. And I mean, that's the thing. I've got the same situation. I always shout out to Xbox 448 who's doing a show too right now. Shout out to Xbox. One of the things me and Xbox always go back and forth with, but I don't blame him. I do the same thing as of recent. All we can do is use the census and the people that we know around us, right? So I actually have a lot of my friends that we all were playing Call of Duty and Gears years ago on going from 360 into the Xbox One. And, as of recent, you guys are younger, so you're not really there yet, but you get families, you get kids, things change, right? So your schedule changes, your friends, staying up till 3 a.m. playing Halo, that's going to change. I hate to break it to you guys, but it will change eventually. But like I'm saying, but my friends that are Xbox, they were buying Xboxes because of Call of Duty, and that's where we always used to meet. So now it's funny because I have a few of my diehard Xbox friends that just used to buy. They're not diehard, pardon me. They're casual, but they've literally called me up. They're like, "Yo," they're like, should we switch over to PS5 because I'm seeing, I never played the Spider-Man thing. I never did this. They don't know what's going on. They don't care. They're not involved with all this stuff like we are. But that's the thing. I'm actually seeing a lot of my friends that used to just go buy the next Xbox, right? Yeah, like that. Xbox. They used to go buy the next Xbox because it was the next gravitation, which is what they did next. Now they're questioning it. And that's interesting because that never would have happened before. But now Gears 5 was a bit lackluster. Halo 5 didn't really do it for people on the campaign side. Of course, Halo Infinite being delayed. There's not a lot of reason that people are finding to go buy that are in the casual market that I'm friends with. That's just my very small consensus. That's not saying it's a big deal. It might have absolutely no impact on sales at all. But I'm saying if Trip knows a few people that are like that, and I know a few people like that, there's a chance that we all know a few people that are like that. So that's the thing, and that's where it kind of gravitationally slowly starts to pull towards Sony going from a big lead to a lead that's almost not reachable if Microsoft doesn't step on the gas. And when you say, what do you mean by that, is if you don't have Halo Infinite ready, what do you do? This is what Donnie, a lot of people make fun of Donnie Matrick, but Donnie went out when he knew he was falling way behind the 8 ball just on bad press. He went and locked down Titanfall indefinitely, and then he locked down Rise of the Tomb Raider for a year. And if you don't think that works, I mean, it definitely helped. Yep. When you got a cut on your arm, listen, a bandage is not going to stop you from getting an infection, but it's certainly going to stop some of the bleeding to get you to a hospital to stop the infection. So put a bandage on. You know what I mean? Don't just go into next generation with back compat. That's literally like walking to the hospital with your hand over the wound. It's not doing much. So it is what it is. I mean, that's my thing. I think if you have some friends like that, Trip, and I do, I wonder how many others do.
Well,
true.
I want CC to kind of weigh in on what he thinks because CC this is the man of 5 Xboxes, so we'll let him do his talking.
The only person I know in the entire world that pre-ordered 5 Xboxes.
I got to make that money. UK's going into lockdown, and I can provide international shipping, and that looks good for my wallet. But basically, my big takeaway from this, honestly, I'm most excited for Fable. I love the fact that I saw a game I've been playing for since I was a child. That's what gravitated me towards the Xbox. As soon as I saw that frog eat that berry, that was it for me. I was buying an Xbox. Another thing that has me excited about the Xbox is the Game Pass. I'm done paying $30 for every Destiny DLC that comes out. I'd rather just have the Game Pass and just keep it going. Those are kind of the two big things that are gravitating me towards the Xbox. Not kind of say like multi-plats aren't fun. Those are still great. But if I were going to say something that's specific to Xbox, it's definitely going to be those two.
Okay.
Game Pass and
Well, just the fact that I don't have to buy DLCs. You know how much money I spend in DLCs, or how many games I drop because I didn't feel like buying that extra. DLC?
Are you sure those are free forever, or part of that forever, or will they pull that, or?
Oh, you talk, well, you're talking, first party DLC is free, not third party games that drop.
Yeah, well, he mentioned Destiny as an example, and my thought was that's definitely not first party.
Right?
I definitely see a
So
situation.
this one will be included this time. Yes. Future, I don't know if they went that far out.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on like what kind of licensing or marketing deals they have behind the scenes. To let's say have Destiny on for a pretty long time, but as we all know, only first party games stay on Game Pass. Third parties they rotate in and out.
They come in and go, but
they come and go. So yeah, I mean.
But those games are going to be on Game Pass day one, so those are games we're most likely going to buy anyways.
But what games on Game Pass? Yeah, but you're not getting new multiplats on Game Pass. Let's be real here. You're getting older games. So it's like, what's the draw of Game Pass?
That's the thing. I think my counter to CC is just that. Fine, Game Pass is a great value, but you have to understand something. It's the value comes from first party. And there is no first party. So you can say, okay, I'm getting this great deal because I don't have to pay the $40 extension that I would have paid for Destiny. Okay, but Game Pass is going to cost you $120. So like it's not necessarily the deal comes from first party. When first party starts spitting out a game every 3 months or so, not necessarily AAA, but even a AA or a AAA, and those are in there from Microsoft's new game studios, that's where the value comes from. But here's the thing: you do realize this, and everyone that says this realizes this. Nobody's buying Game Pass and then not buying anything else, right? You're gonna buy a Call of Duty, you're gonna buy a Valhalla, you're gonna buy a Cyberpunk. So you're still buying games. Now you've just added $120 to your yearly fee of gaming. And let me tell you this much: I've been saying this for a long time. Nobody really likes to hear this, but Game Pass will go up. I understand Phil just came out and said they're okay. Of course they're okay. They just came out 2 years ago with Game Pass, 3 years ago. Realistically, only when they made the announcement of first parties, when Game Pass was officially that was like the opening for Game Pass, because before it, no one really cared. That was when it mattered. So, of course, right now they are, but look at Netflix. They said they want to be the Netflix of gaming. Look at the words, choose the words carefully, right? Netflix has gone from $8.99 a month, now it's to $14 and $17.99 a month, right? So don't tell me it's not going to go up. The whole point is to get you wrapped into a subscription. It's the same thing that the gyms have been doing for decades. Okay, once they get you in there, they hope you stay subscribed. It's on auto renew, and you don't think about it, and you don't. Eventually, you don't. But then when it goes from $10 to $12, from $12 to $14, and from $14 to $17, it's inevitable. It's not never going to happen. It's inevitable. Everything's going up. Everything you name it, it's going up. Sirius satellite radio going up. Everything's going up that's subscription based. So
potential is definitely going to make it go up. So I do believe in that. So
well, you say potential. I just you know what I say? You say potential. I say inflation. Okay. So you're saying that the talent they're acquiring, that's true. But let's be honest. Microsoft just spent $7.5 billion on ZeniMax. Do you know what they could have done with those IP? They could have put them into a treasure chest, locked it, and sank it at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. They don't care. They've got money. They've lost more than $7.5 billion on an investment before. So it's not necessarily about they went and spent $7.5 billion. That's why they're going to go up. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying it'll just go up with time, just like everything else. But yes, their investment does.
Say with PS Now, I mean, that's going to go up as well. I mean, it's just
absolutely
like inflation. Yeah,
absolutely. That's without a doubt. But that's my point. See, that's the thing. We have to be logical. But with PS Now, which I'm also not a member, I'm not a member of PS Now, but PS Now is giving you 800 plus games and Sony's first party games from PS1 to today. So, and then they have third party games in there as well.
Hey, Mooch, I always mention this because people look at you crazy when you bring this up, right? But if you look into it, right, Game Pass Ultimate is $15 a month or $180 a year. You can get PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Now, and EA Play combined for $150 a year on PlayStation. So that's $30 cheaper. Now, you might go, why would you do that? Well, look at the PlayStation Collection right away that you get if next generation with the PS5, right? I mean, you can't touch those quality games they're giving you in Game Pass. You can't touch it because the first party stuff from Sony's there, and their first party trumps Microsoft's completely. God of War is simply the greatest game ever created, and Microsoft couldn't create a game half that good on their best day. So you get over it's almost 1,200 games if you do like what I just said, and the games are largely the same in terms of the little third-party indies and stuff like that on PlayStation Now, and you're fully downloadable, mind you, right? Fully downloadable. Yes, it's a streaming service as well, but you get that included, just like xCloud, right? Not everything is streamable or whatever, but if they're very comparable. If you were to do that, I'm sure they'll probably do some kind of bundle service thing next generation and make it an even better deal. But I'm just pointing out that without those big AAA day and date titles that Microsoft really pimps, the service really loses something. And their last big AAA day and date release was September 6, 2019. Okay, that was Gears of War 5, folks. That was over a year ago. So we've got 0 big AAA releases from Microsoft this entire year. That's a big fat 0. 0 at the launch of their 2 new next generation consoles. When is the next one scheduled to release? Potentially Halo at the end of 2021. You're looking at 2.5 years between AAA exclusive launches. And then you're looking at the last 4 being Forza, Gears, Halo. And what's everybody's biggest complaint about Xbox? They rely on Forza, Gears, and Halo too much. And their last 4 releases over a 4-year period have all been.
Let me add one more thing to the pile that I only brought up once on Crossfire, and it actually got a glorious applause. Is that one of the things that we all seem to have forgotten is back in 2013, the biggest argument we all had was DRM with Microsoft. And everybody was like, boo, Microsoft, DRM. All of a sudden, Microsoft took their dry erase and they erased DRM and they wrote Game Pass. And everyone's like, yeah, woo, that's what I'm talking about. I'm all in. So all the things that everybody was down for, this is a situation where you're going to pay $120 a year and you don't own any of it.
Or $180.
Right. So again, just a point here and that's fine. Listen, you're also talking to somebody that didn't mind DRM. I didn't care. I still don't care. But my point, so I'm trying to keep the same energy. I'm keeping the same energy. The problem is, right, but a lot of people that didn't like DRM are applauding Game Pass. So that's not keeping the same energy if people are keeping track of energy keeping, by the way. So thank you. Say that 5 times.
Funny, Mooch, is I get this crap all the time, right? Me and you were both like this. When we were huge Xbox homers, people would go, well, don't you care about the resolution? Nope.
No.
And I still don't, right? Like
we didn't care then, and we don't care now.
I still don't care, man. 1440p, whatever. Like
still holding that energy.
I play Ghost of Tsushima. Whatever that resolution is on my new CX looks like a freaking painting, right? So it doesn't matter to me. It looks amazing. So for me, the thing that I've come to notice is graphics, and we've said this as well, isn't resolution, and resolution isn't graphics. So obviously now, if you're going to play something that's 720p on a 4K TV, you'll probably notice something. But in terms of what we're going to be doing next generation on the 2 top end next generation consoles, you're going to be seeing little difference, if any, on the multiplats, and then you're going to see the first party really excel on, especially on the PlayStation side, because they don't have a million different PC configurations, a Series S, a Xbox One from 2013 that they got a code for. So that's the real difference maker, in my opinion, right there. Again, we all saw Halo. We saw what Halo Infinite looked like. I mean, it could play great, hopefully, but it's, in terms of graphically, it was very disappointing. Especially
it looked like a 2080 to me.
Yeah, especially since Halo 5 actually looks good for a Halo game, right? Like Halo 2 Anniversary.
Halo 5 did look pretty good, yeah.
Halo 2 Anniversary looks better than that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's just one of those things where you get these expectations and then you see how that comes about and you're wondering who okayed that demo to be played. Mooch, if you're Phil and you're head of Xbox and you're about to launch these next generation consoles, and you got, actually at that point there was a lot of hype for Halo, was there not?
Absolutely.
Even us, we were like, man, Halo's going to be back. It's going
This is going to be back. It's going to be massive.
Now, if you're Phil, do you let that demo get shown? Wouldn't you ask to see it first, and then once you saw it, would you have let it be shown?
Crap! I'm picky about the MNC logo. Listen, I don't. There's no way I would let that. And I got news for you. There was definitely a meeting, and there was an aftermath after that was shown. And the result came in a delay, and the results came in shifting of power within 343.
Oh yeah,
but I'm
gonna tell you right now, as an Xbox guy, that definitely wasn't nice to see. You know what I'm saying? I was not happy to see that 4-bit face. But
no, but I mean, I'm glad to see they got rid of someone who should have not let that shit happen in the first place.
But you don't think Phil Spencer didn't see that before it was put out? You really think you're really gonna have me believe?
No, I mean, I really don't think so.
I don't think
he saw that.
There's no way the head of Xbox did not.
Here's the thing, though.
That's what I'm saying.
We gotta. We're assuming that it's like Phil has another obligation as the head of Xbox, and I'll get.
Yeah, he's not a games guy. He's a Game Pass guy.
I have a different. My point being is he's the head of Xbox. He has something that we don't talk about. There's a lot of things behind the scenes in business we don't talk about on podcasts because, frankly, we put the audience to sleep. But he's got something called a schedule to meet. Okay, so he's probably turned to the heads of his studios and said, "Is this something that we're going to be able to put out there in time for a launch?" And he got a head nod, yes, up and down, absolutely, sir. We're going to have this out. It'll be ready, Phil. Don't worry, blah blah blah. He saw it and he was like, "Are we going to be able to do?" They said, "Yes, it will." He has to meet a deadline, and that deadline was to have that game out for launch. Then when the backlash came from the community and social media and reviewers, then things went different. At that point, Phil can make an executive decision to cease and desist and hold. And he held, rightfully so. He made the right call. But let's be honest, I don't really hold Phil accountable for, Phil's the head of Xbox. He's not the lead program. He's not the lead program designer of 343. So, so when Crap says, "Would you if you were Phil?" No, I would not ship it myself if I saw it in that position. But I'm not Phil. That's the thing. If I'm Phil Spencer legitimately sitting up there at Redmond, Washington, I might have hit the green light only because, let me be really honest with you guys, we already spoke about it for the first half hour. There's nothing else shipping with the box. And we could sit here and people can do I don't like using the word damage control, because if you truly feel that way, that's fine. You're the consumer. I'm not. You're the consumer for yourself. But at the same time, he had to put something out there. And he did his damnedest, and it was the right move to hold back. But it was because of the backlash and the kind of mediocre reviews it got. So that's the predicament that Phil was under. Phil has to meet schedule, and that's a lot of stuff that he talks about with his. It's not always just he doesn't say, "Hey guys, are we at 4K resolution? Great!" Like no, right. He's like, "Are we on time? Is cost down or on point? Are we over budget?" That's what he's worried about,
That's all he's ever worried about was.
I mean, he should be. That's his job.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's in that sense. He was going to ship it if the audience liked it, it would have went in the game. That's the other thing Crap brings up a lot of times. Is a lot of the first party games from Microsoft, like Sea of Thieves, right? Sea of Thieves went into Game Pass, and Sea of Thieves was not done. It was not done. It's great now. It's great now.
The thing is, though, they dropped that before they did the day and date Game Pass stuff. So dudes had we spent full price on that crap.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? And I mean, listen, it was fun at first, but then once you get past the drinking and goofing around and puking on each other, Mooch, there wasn't much left, right? Like, I mean, it was fun that way, but it's like literally you play that game for 4 hours and you've done nothing.
I just want to real quick. Everyone in the chat, this is your 60-second warning to get your copy and paste ready to get whatever you need. I'm dropping the code in 60 seconds.
You hear that, Mooch? You got 60 seconds.
Yeah, I'm looking over the fine print right now. I don't see anything here that says panel members are excluded. So this is great. I'm only kidding. I swear I'm only kidding.
Salty was asking me in the chat. He's like, you dropped the code yet? And I was like, nah, I'm about to. I'm trying to get in here. But I mean, all great points on either side. I mean, again, we haven't seen any new games from Xbox. They're literally living on the rehash. One thing that, Trip or CC, you could speak on it. We do know that the Series X on paper is more powerful. So
I was just about to get to that.
But how does that add to your experience as an Xbox gamer? Like, are you excited for the features?
So, Nova, I hate to interrupt you, but this is late breaking off of Twitter. someone was writing back and forth, and Mikey Barra just replied to somebody. This is interesting. This is literally at 7:14 tonight. He said, because they were saying, you can understand a COVID, with the year of COVID, it's 100% expected that, the exclusives aren't there, blah, blah, blah. And the gentleman was saying it was a non-issue for him. And Mikey Barra said, COVID can explain a month or two, but not games in development for years, missing by years. Next-gen launches need exclusive games at launch. Neither has that, and it's sad. At the end of the day, it's all about games. And I was like, it's just, I think he's right. We really can't put a blame on the situation because there's other people putting out games.
Dude muted me for saying that exact thing to him, though.
Yeah.
That's, no lie.
Well, look,
right?
if at the end of the day, if we're talking about games, that's also why I do like the Game Pass. I mean, at the same time, how many piles of games do you have at your house that if you went to GameStop, they would give you $1.50 for?
But then it goes saying, I can counter that. Okay, it's like, how much games do you guys have as opposed to us? You know what I mean? Like, if we're talking Game Pass and PS Now, like, you guys got some hits, but we got banger after banger after banger after banger out here. We're Death Row in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm Okada hitting a Rainmaker, bro. Like, it's easy over here.
But
let me say this though: Game Pass,
experience them, and just being able to play them, and take their course. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't.
Game Pass is at its least valuable at the start of next generation, and the reason why is because it's mostly 99% last generation and beyond, and before that.
Yep.
Right. So it's not even like how many next gen games are in Game Pass. Not like current gen that are also next gen, like, or whatever, but how many next gen games are in Game Pass to launch with the Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S? I'm not really sure, but I don't think it's a lot.
Not too many.
I think it's zero. I think
it's zero too. So I mean, Game Pass could be a great thing, and that's fine. But at the same time, it's literally at its least valuable for someone who just bought a next generation console, because you could get somebody an Xbox SAD and a Game Pass membership, and they're going to have the same enjoyment and get to play the same games, because literally there's nothing there that can't be played on a SAD, and I think that's probably my biggest complaint is the fact that they not only do they not have anything first party wise, but they admitted that they were working on the backwards compatibility stuff since 2016. That's over 4 years ago. And in that time, so they were working on these consoles in 2015, 2016, and yet they had no idea of having to get any kind of content ready for it, right? Like, that to me blows my mind. Like I said, first thing I did when I got my Xbox One, got home around 12:35 from GameStop, put in Rise, download, you know what I'm saying? Did all that stuff. I felt blown away. There's next gen for you right there. Like, that's the feeling I want to get. I'm going to play the new Spider-Man on the PS5. That's going to be, it looks amazing. That's the next gen feeling I'm going to get. If I'm going to play, I told Mooch this, what am I even going to play on my Xbox? I think it's probably going to be Watch Dogs, I guess.
I switched my vote last second, Crab. I'm going Valhalla.
Are you going? I might go Valhalla too.
I've just heard, and I don't even like Assassin's Creed, but I've heard that even from folks that are really enjoying Watch Dogs, they said that literally after a few hours of it, it got ridiculously repetitive and they lost interest.
Yeah.
So,
that's because all those Ubisoft games are kind of the same now.
I was going to say, I don't think Valhalla is going to differentiate much from that, but because I stepped away from play, I think the last Assassin's Creed game I played was the one with the Revolutionary War. So that's been really
that was on the 360, man.
Yeah, I know. I don't really like Assassin's Creed. I've never really dug it.
Them. I love those games. I beat every single one of them up until Odyssey and Origins. And I was playing Origins and I loved it and I thought it was good. And then I got to a point where
you did like Origins.
Yeah, I did. And then I got very far into it. And then I got to a point where the enemies that I'm supposed to assassinate were a higher level than me. And so you go to assassinate them and they just throw you off of them and you get your ass kicked. And basically that's the game's way of saying you haven't grinded enough hours, either grind hours or pay for upgrades.
They That's wild.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the same thing for Odyssey, right? You literally like, and I'm not a side quest guy. Like Mooch knows this. I'm not a side quest guy. So even in God of War, love God of War, my favorite game of all time. I didn't mess with any of those side quests.
Wait, so
None
you
of
never beat Valkyries or nothing like that?
No, never went after the Valkyries. Never did any of that stuff. Nope.
But
I'm just not a side quest guy. Because listen, you guys got to understand. I have over 1,000 games installed on my Xbox, 500 installed on my PS4. I don't got time. Usually, I'm just trying to go from game to game and finish them. I don't have time to mess around with like 100 hours on something that should only take me 20. You know, like I'm trying to beat stuff. I'm not a completionist where I got to get everything and get all the achievements and trophies. I don't do that. I just whatever I get from playing through it is what I get. If a game doesn't grab me right away, boom, on to the next one because there's always a next one for me.
I get that, but I will say this to God of War's credit, the side stories they intertwined it with the story very well. You know what I mean? Like they made it seem like it was.
I heard those are really good.
They were really good.
Yeah.
They were really good. If you want to give it a
listen,
try, give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely
Listen,
adds context to the story a little bit.
Yeah.
Like with Mimir and stuff like that. So if you
Mimir, the
Mimir!
smartest man. Well, I miss my Mimir my keychain, man. That thing was badass.
Really missed that.
Yeah, that was a good time, man. I used to, play that on Crossfire all the time. Dude, like I said, man, I can't wait for that to come out next year. And people go, well, it probably won't. And I always say, listen, Sony is very careful with the years that they put on their games. I can definitely imagine that game coming out, next year, sometime late.
So
why else would they put the year on there? Yeah, what's up?
So I have a question for you. Do you think there will be more hype around if God of War comes out next year, holiday, and it's going head to head against Halo? What do you think holds the biggest mind share at this point in time?
I think God of War. Sells more than Halo, to be honest with you. Because I don't think people are going to buy Halo. I think they'll play it on Game Pass. I think Steam might sell, 3-4 million, but I think overall most people are just going to, and the multiplayer is free to play. So, that's another weird thing, like people are going to have to get used to it. I got a feeling that the traditionalists are going to be pissed off because $5 to paint your armor. Like legit $5. Like
Wait, what?
That's crazy. The armor sets, okay, the colors are $5 a piece.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I guess they're taking a Destiny type approach to that. I don't play Destiny, but is that what you guys pay for the color sets or something?
No, Destiny's we pay for like emotes and different. It's you color anything the way you want, but
okay. Well, in this, apparently they're gonna like the stuff, and the reason this came out was because the promotional stuff leaked that it's worth $5. If like certain colors or whatever. So apparently they're gonna do the microtransactions for that for the multiplayer, where it's $5 per color thing or whatever.
It's probably like one of the bigger like a pack you can buy.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, again, they want the
whatever the highest microtransaction is going to be. It's going to be $5.
Yeah, they want the free to play route with that. So it kind of is what it is. You have to wonder what they're going to charge for the whole package, like the campaign and stuff like that. Rick Hunter says, "Do you think Xbox will release a VR headset?" I don't think so. And I think, sadly, Sony is taking a little bit of a relaxed stance on VR next gen, unfortunately.
I don't know if it's relaxed. I think they're biding their time. They don't. Where's the rush? Their competitors not jumping in head first.
Yeah.
Oculus. I did pick up the Oculus Quest 2, and it's a very, very impressive crap. I'll tell you right now, more than I should have it. You should probably have one of these. It's
something amazing.
It is. It's completely untethered. I mean, you can play in any room in the house. And I got to be honest with you, that do have to give Phil credit here. He said this a while ago. He said once VR gets to a part where you have no wires, you're untethered, and you're free to have full motion. And that's where the Quest 2 is. And it's extremely impressive tech. And I got to be honest with you, for an entry price of $299, like that's a really great price for that kind of technology.
I gotta ask, Mooch, have you tried Echo Arena?
I have not yet, man. Shame on me. I've got more games that I bought on VR Steam, which I can't use. You have to have the Oculus Store, which kind of sucks. So I bought a lot of VR Steam because I had the Rift S. So I was like, I had it hooked up to my PC, so I was playing a lot of games there. Now I've got to kind of either double dip, right, and buy twice because now I have to have it on the Oculus storefront. So if I'd known this and I knew I was going to go this route, I would have bought a lot of the games I bought on Steam on Oculus instead. But whatever, live and learn. But no, what's the name of that game again? You said
Echo Arena. Oh man, you'll have a great time. Trust me.
I'll be looking that up as soon as this podcast is over.
It's a 0G arena game with like goalies and shit. Oh man, let me tell you.
You're in the type shit.
Yeah, if you've watched the movie Ender's Game, then that would be a direct kind of reference to the arena that he kind of, I don't know what they practice in, but
yeah,
it's only if you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
I do want to switch gears a little bit into one of our topics. I mean, the conversation's so great. I, dropped the code. It's been so amazing. I didn't want to get in there, but I do have a couple of topics I want to tackle. And, with next gen, we do know a lot of things. We know that I believe the 10th Xbox is holding some type of event, and
the 9th.
The 9th. Okay, yeah. So they'll be doing an event. Maybe there'll be some more announcements like day before launch, hopefully. And then same thing for PlayStation. They're actually doing an Asian PlayStation event for the Asian market, I'd assume. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what we find out there. But I did want to shift gears a little bit to Phil Spencer. And I'm sure all of you read this article where he implies that PS5 is a heavy investment compared to Series X, assuming he's talking about Game Pass and the whole value aspect. Whereas, sorry, I'm drawing blanks right now. PlayStation CEO.
Oh, Jim Ryan.
Okay, sorry, yeah. So while Jim Ryan, on contrast, says that he was highlighting the organic first party growth, essentially building up Sony studios as they are compared to Microsoft going on a spending spree. So it's funny to see how they have two different views. So Phil Spencer is essentially saying that Xbox, it's a better value overall, and Jim Ryan's saying that look at all the work we're putting into our first party. Instead of going out and buying a million studios, we're making sure our games are quality. And I think the biggest stark contrast going into next gen is, as we all know, for PlayStation, we have the PlayStation Plus collection, which you're going to get a bunch of AAA games, a couple third party thrown in there. You even got the Call of Duty Zombies DLC and Crash now. So it's interesting to see how different approaches. And I want to start with you, Mooch. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, we all. Well,
I think listen. I hope your audience doesn't mind some sports, but I got to be honest with you. Here's my deal. What Jim Ryan really reminded me of is just kind of like, baseball is probably my favorite sport of all. And it's like having your farm team. Like when you have an actual farm team that you develop from scouting and build up, and then you put that team out, like the 90s Yankees. Believe it or not, even though people are going to kind of giggle and laugh, but even the 2015 Mets that made it to the World Series, we did lose to the Royals, but Mets were a farm team that was built up from the ground up, and we made it there with just youth and talent. And so that's right. Thank you. If you don't mind, that in the background would be great. It encourages me.
I always get that from the Seinfeld episode.
I know. At least Jerry's a Met fan. I got that going for me. But nonetheless, Keith Hernandez. Nonetheless, so anyways, sorry guys.
I'm Cubs fan.
But if you stop at right, yeah, you feel my pain. So like my whole thing is this. The situation is that Jim Ryan wants to kind of do a farm team. He wants to say, listen, we've got Sony Santa Monica, we've got Neil Druckmann and his team, we've got Guerrilla Games, we've got Sucker Punch. The list goes on and on. The point of the matter is that they say, listen, we can go out there and grab talent and add that amazing talent. Let's say they acquire a Blue Point Games, right? So Blue Point then starts to coordinate and work with Corey Balrog and his team and Neil Druckmann and his team and the Guerrilla team and so forth and so on and Sucker Punch, and they collaborate and they work together, and then they kind of branch off. So where before you just had Guerrilla Games was only making Killzone, well now Guerrilla Games is making Killzone and they're making Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West. And the point being is that that's their attack. They're kind of going with the New York Yankees approach of having that Jeter class of '96 with Paul O'Neill, et cetera, et cetera. My point being is that that's their strategy. Where what Phil's doing is a lot like what I would say maybe like the Red Sox did maybe mid 2000s, and then what the Mets tried to do in the late 90s. and early 2000s was they went and they just bought big names. And the problem when you do that, there's nothing wrong with it, because I think when they get, when you buy a big name bat and they get up there, yeah, they're still going to get you that 30 home run, right, that you were looking for that maybe was missing in your lineup. But what you don't have is you don't have that charisma in the clubhouse. You don't have that necessarily leader. You kind of get that diva in the clubhouse. Yeah. So you're probably saying, well, what do you mean by that? How do you make the translation? My translation going back to gaming is that when you go buy a Bethesda, and you heard Phil say it, we're going to let Bethesda just do Bethesda. So that means Bethesda's not really going to interact with 343. Bethesda studios are not really going to interact with the coalition. Bethesda's going to keep being Bethesda. And some people go, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. But it's like going and paying that $250 million baseball player that's going to fill the hole in your lineup as far as the 30 home runs you needed, but it doesn't add to the charisma of the team. It doesn't make the youth. He doesn't come in extra early to help the youth out. He is not there to train and try to help out a little bit. He doesn't do any extra promotional things that he doesn't have to out of contract. Bethesda's going to make Fallout. Bethesda's going to make Elder Scrolls, and Bethesda's going to make what they make, and that's it. And they're basically going to be running. This is Phil said it. They'll be running independently. So again, does it do something for you as far as what you need for Game Pass? Absolutely. It fills that 30 home run hole that they had in Game Pass. They need to fill those positions with bats. So now they're going to get names that can actually get the ball out of the ballpark. But when it comes down to it at the end of the day, to keep making amazing games and new IP and creative geniuses that are developers, that's something that has to be homegrown. It has to be developed, and it has to kind of be taught over years. And it has to be collaborated with veterans, some middle of the road, and some young, right? And that's how you get to a championship ball club or a championship developing team. And that's the one thing I think that Jim Ryan is trying to go for versus what Phil's doing with these big out-of-pocket deals.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you there.
Team like the Yankees.
But I hope that, he's letting them work independently for now, and that's just because that's what they have contracted. And I hope that eventually he will pull those studios to, say, maybe help these other studios that they have to help, like you said, mix some younger developers with some senior developers and create some magic.
CC, I hope you're right, but I got to be honest with you. The reason that right now, if I was just to pull a bit of evidence, they've owned Mojang for a long time. Mojang hasn't gone to help the coalition. Mojang hasn't gone and helped 343, and clearly 343 needed help. And I'm not saying you might turn around and go, well, Mojang makes they make blocks, Mooch. Okay, they make blocks. They don't need that kind of help. Listen, it's not about that. It's about collaborating and working together. And I don't think you're going to see teams from Bethesda that have been working on Fallout, 4 and now working on Fallout 5 are going to go and help on Gear 6. I don't see it. It's just not the way that their plan is. And you can see that, again, Crap and I have said it a number of times. There's a communication breakdown. There's a leadership issue. So that needs to happen at day one at the negotiation table. I would say to Todd Howard, Todd, you've got unbelievable talent. We're not just grabbing your IP. We need your talent, your resources, and your expertise. Will you, as part of this deal, also come over and help these teams out as they grow and try to thrive? And you can clearly see by him saying they're going to stay independent. Like, he's not saying that
but that's not permanently them staying independent. Eventually, they will.
Well, so Trip, let's look at the conversation me and you just had in the last 10 seconds. My words came right from his mouth. You're saying, well, hypothetically, not forever. There's nothing that's saying that. Right now, all we know is they're running independently. So you could say that, Trip, and I could say, I hope so.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see spending $7.5 billion for them to just do their own thing.
I don't get the $7.5 billion thing when you're talking about $1 trillion company. Do you realize that Groove Music? Okay, do you realize how much Windows Phone cost?
I know that $7.5 billion isn't much to them, but they're not going to just allow. It's like, yeah, we're just going to buy you guys for $7.5 billion just for the entire time. Just do your own thing. There's just no way that's right now, Trip. You got to understand something, okay? Again, I hate to go back to my sports analogy, but legitimately, okay, you're talking about Santana was bought. The Mets picked up his contract after Minnesota let him go. They paid him an unbelievable amount of money to pitch once every 5 days. That didn't help them bat, didn't help them field. Okay, and once every 5 days, they paid an exuberant amount of money. Very similar to this situation. So what I'm saying to you is they needed a hole filled in Game Pass. They did that. They are not going to be collaborating. I don't see that at all. I think Bethesda is going to be Bethesda. That's the thing. When they picked up Obsidian,
Obsidian's what? Obsidian's doing Obsidian.
Yeah.
Bethesda's a Bethesda. And guess what? Ninja Theory? They're Ninja Theory. They're not. What are they making? Listen, everyone's excited for Hellblade 2. I'm sure Hellblade 2 is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. But a lot of people are like, oh, I can't wait to see what new IP they're going to come out with. No. Ninja Theory is going to be Ninja Theory. Right? I don't know if you guys ever saw that Chris Rock special, but it was great. It was when the whole Siegfried and Roy thing went on, and the tiger bit Roy, and everybody was like, oh my God, that tiger's crazy. And Chris Rock was like, that tiger ain't crazy. That tiger went tiger. Like the tiger's right. So Ninja Theory's Ninja Theory, Bethesda's Bethesda, Mojang's Mojang, and Obsidian's Obsidian. And Trip, as much as me and you could sit here and do a whole nother podcast on the I Hope podcast, nothing's changing. Microsoft's just too big for that, it seems. They seem they're so big that they're just going to hire talent and they're going to fill the holes they need to. And that's fine. If you like Fallout 4, you're going to like Fallout 5. Guess what? Go Xbox. But don't think that the guys that are making Fallout 5 are going to go and help the coalition. It's not going to happen, or not in the foreseeable future. Never say never. Never say never, especially on the internet. But,
definitely not.
Right? Never say never. But for the foreseeable future, that's not happening.
I mean, look.
Okay, fair enough.
They just spent all this money.
I hope I'm wrong, Trip.
I remember, like, earlier,
God, me too.
Just spent all this money on Mixer just to shut it down.
I mean, Windows Phone, Nokia. Yeah, well, we don't have to get into that.
But you don't think games like Starfield and Fallout 5 are going to be optimized for the Xbox and just run better, have the other features that only come to the Xbox systems?
Good point.
I don't think it'll have like content. If it's multiplat, everything will be on everything. Like, I mean, you can look at it this way, okay? What the hell is that crappy game that Obsidian made that's like Fallout in space? Outer World, right? That sold best, and I think might have ran best on PS4 Pro. I'm not 100% sure on that, but and again, all the content was across everything, and it sold much better on PlayStation than it did Xbox. So I mean, I don't think that they would if it releases on something else, they'll support it just like they supported it on their own platform. That's just how I think the big draw to that would be. Oh, well, if you get it on Xbox, you don't have to pay for it, because it's included in Game Pass. I think that would be the only difference.
Yeah, which you're still paying for. And I'm glad you said that, because like I think my issue with the Xbox fan base is like, well, I think on both sides we're definitely vocal and you have your minority, but it's like, and something that I've heard you and Mooch bring up countless times, support your developers. Even as fans, like a lot of Xbox fans didn't pick up, Bleeding Edge. Not saying it was a great game, but again, I know you like to bring up same developers, Alan Wake. What is it called? It was an Xbox exclusive. Came out with
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break. That's what I was thinking. Like Quantum Break, it did abysmal, and there was so much hype around that game, and then Xbox players aren't playing it, so they didn't come out with a sequel. Same thing with Rise. So
hey Mooch, did you see that commercial that I retweeted for Walmart and Xbox?
I did.
Okay, so Walmart tweets out this commercial about Xbox, and it shows this guy, and he's going to get his original Xbox when he's young, and then he's getting the 360 when he's got a little baby, and then he's getting an Xbox One when she's older. Now he's going back, and I was like, man, having no games really aged this guy horribly. I feel your pain, sir, because he's real gray in the last one and stuff. I mean, it's like literally, man, come on.
It's really bad.
Yeah, people will really be pissed off though. Like they'll really get angry. Like for me, that's funny. That's just a joke. But people will really get pissed off at that. Like before you know it, they'll just be like, "How can you say that?" Blah blah blah. It's a touching thing, and I'm like, "Well, it's a joke, first of all." But yeah, But to me, it's kind of funny.
Even the game they showed for a brief second on that commercial did not look appealing.
No.
I want to ask a question to Mooch and Crap, because whether everyone here in the chat knows you guys or doesn't, it's as someone who's been following you guys for a while now, I know that you guys are definitely predominantly Xbox, and it's funny, guy. I used to check into BGST. I mean, to this day, I still listen to Xbox podcasts. I still listen to PlayStation podcasts. But when you guys were definitely Team Green. Like you were saying, you bled green, all that stuff. What was the tipping point? And I want to ask you both separately. What was the tipping point for you, Crap, and what was the tipping point for you, Mooch, where you were just kind of like, all right, enough is enough? Because I know you both were heavily invested into the Xbox ecosystem. Like you said, you have 1,000 games for Xbox, multiple consoles, League controller, all that stuff. What was the tipping point for you that you just said, you know what, I'm sick of this?
Well, for me, it was E3 2019, right? Like I was already starting to, I think in 2018, like they released Sea of Thieves, and I was like, "Hey, this is pretty good." And they had released State of Decay 2, which was bad, and they released PUBG, which was bad, right? Like I had some fun on that game, but it was clearly just like this broken piece of crap, right? And then on the PlayStation side, they released God of War, Detroit Become Human, and Spider-Man. And at that point, I had my PlayStation since 2015. I kind of begrudgingly played it. I would play it for like Uncharted 4, now to get back on my Xbox, right? So around 2018, I started to notice the big quality difference between the exclusive games, right? And so I was like, this is very interesting. And then, so I would start to enjoy the PlayStation less begrudgingly. And then next thing you know, I'm like, holy crap, this is a lot of fun. These games are great. And I started going back and playing, a lot of games that I had missed, a lot of the exclusive stuff. And I was like, wow, I got into the VR. And it was just like this huge thing where I was like, man. Then come 2019, I was like, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, right? 2019 E3. They hadn't announced a new AAA IP in 4 years to that point, but they had announced, there were rumors that they were going to announce like the new consoles or whatever. Yeah. I thought, and this still bugs me that they've announced 5 Xbox consoles since 2016, and the only new AAA IP was Avowed since that point in time. And they've announced more hardware than they've released AAA exclusives in the last 4 plus years. So to me, that kind of says it all. It's like they're really kind of going like they're almost like Steam boxes or whatever. So I think me and Mooch were on air live during E3 2019, Mooch, right? And
yeah, 2019, yep.
I was so disappointed that I was almost like crying on air, right? Because it was supposed to be a 2-hour show, right? And we got about an hour and 20 minutes. And the big announcement was Bleeding Edge, if you can imagine that. And I was live on, and I just couldn't have sounded more depressed if I tried. And at that point in 2019, E3 2019, I was like, I cannot believe this. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, Xbox does not respect us. Xbox does not respect gamers in general. It was another thing where they promised more games. They promised the best and biggest E3 ever again, and they didn't deliver. So, that's for me, that was like the bottom line kind of thing. And I was like, well, they keep letting everybody down. And even this year, right? I get that, the pandemic's going on, but all the stuff that they showed would have been the stuff that they showed at E3, and that was lackluster to me as well. Like seeing a CGI trailer for State of Decay 3 doesn't interest me because State of Decay 2 was garbage, right? Like, I mean, again, this is just like the truth. Like, people don't want to hear it, but again, that stuff that they showed wasn't very, like, I'm excited for Fable and Avowed, but they didn't even show Fable and Avowed. They showed, like, nothing. So, yeah, I mean, that's my thing. So,
okay. Mine was a slower kind of a evolution over time, and it wasn't really just I left Xbox. I mean, I still am on my Xbox, every night. And I my thing about it is, I just think that for me, it's partially me, partially Xbox. I just, like I was telling, I believe it was Trip, but when we were speaking on an earlier topic, you go back to even 2013, like it was different, man. You know what I mean? Like I had, me and my friends were playing Call of Duty. We were playing Gears. We were up late. Like it was a different time for me. You know what I mean? Now things are different. You get kids going, this and that, blah, blah. Life just changes. So I went from playing always online and always playing multiplayer games to I went to a more of, I'm like, how do I fit gaming in my life? Because gaming's always been a part of my life. And I remember back with my youth, it was like, if you wanted to play a multiplayer game, you actually had to go over to your friend's house, be like, dude, you want to come over? We're playing over here. It was before even the original OG Xbox, so it wasn't even LAN parties. It was legitimately like you had to come over and actually play in the same house on the same couch, hence couch co-op. So point being is that, like I said, well, what am I going to do? That's when I said probably around 2016, 2017, I started playing more single player games over at, on the PlayStation side. And I guess I don't have this on a journal, so I don't remember what year it was exactly, but it was gravitational pull at a slow pace. And I started to play more and more of Sony's games. And I said, wow. And I will say that very similar to what Crap said, not necessarily in the same fashion that he did, but I noticed a graphical and just a storytelling ability on that side that I wasn't getting since I had seen, like, let's say Gears 3, Gears 2. Those stories really got me with the whole story, with Marcus and Dom. Like that was something that was riveting, and it made me feel like Gears was something that I would love for the rest of my life. And then what they did with 4 and 5, I don't understand it. They're okay, they're fine games, but they're not that Godfather 2 like it was back in the day. You know what I mean? They lost
more
that
like
classic.
Godfather 3.
Right, it's exactly. They went from Godfather 1 and 2 in the 360 to Godfather 3, which even a lot of many other 100% Italians will also tell you, we go, we'll watch it, I guess. If you're prepping the sauce, you know what I mean, and you're making the fresh pasta, and Godfather 3 comes on, you watch it, kinda. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, right? So it's just the way it is. So I slowly started to gravitate towards PlayStation on that effect, and then it was just kind of like the whole. They just stopped. Xbox stopped. The machine.
So I'll
stopped.
point out that me and Mooch at one point were just like kind of annoyed at Xbox not getting content for their platform. Like, I'll give
That's
you.
What I mean by that's where I was going. They just stopped getting content.
Yeah, like Avengers. Me and Mooch were like, well, let's get it on PlayStation since it has Spider-Man, right? Or you know what I mean? Like, and he has Strikes First on PlayStation, or like Sony does that. They go out and get stuff for their platform for their holders.
Like what hell, exclusive zombies. For a whole year.
Exactly. They got Final Fantasy VII as a timed exclusive for a year. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, that's stuff that they do for their platform holders. It makes you feel good.
I loved Gears so much, the original 3 crap, that I used to play it. I used to play it over and over again, and I mean the campaign. I would play it over and over again. And you might go, okay, so Mooch, what's the counterpart? Like, you guys know I don't have to say this, and I won't put it on your ears again. But I've now played The Last of Us. I beat it on PS3, and then I beat it. I've beaten the remastered now 4 times. Like, I like that game. Like, that's the thing. I like Gears that way. I can't even bring myself to finish Gears 5 because, frankly, I don't like. And I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't care. How it ends. It's just they've gone so far. They say they've jumped the shark. You know what I mean? The story jumped the shark so far that I'm kind of like, So it is what it is. Like, so it was a gravitational thing. Like I said, I'm very excited. I was really, really, and that's why I said the Trip. I said, even if I may sound like I was debating Trip, I actually want what he wants to happen as well. Like, I was extremely excited for Halo Infinite. Like, all this stuff aside, like, I was going to come home, play Halo Infinite to death. And I'm not a Halo nut by no means, but it was good to get back to our roots with Halo and Gears. Let's go. You guys are taking this back. I'm there day one. Let's have fun with it. And the fact that it's not there, okay, again, it needs to be worked on. I'm not going to hold that part against him. If it needs to be worked on, it needs to be worked on. But like what Crap's saying, he went with DLC. I'm not talking about just DLC or skins and hats and things like that. I'm talking about they just stopped. Like, 2015 came and everything. Think about it, from 2015 to 2020, as if you were just an Xbox owner. What did you play? Did you play Sea of Thieves? Did you play Gears 4 and 5? And did you play Horizon 4? Like, that's about a wrap. So it's like, okay. Meanwhile, there's these memorable experiences that are going on at Sony, and it's like, Microsoft needs to, and that's part of what your last topic was, to be honest with you. All of this kind of happened, and now it's easy to play Monday morning quarterback. So I'm not pretending that this was all just an easy thing. This happened over the course of years. It's just Sony kept coming with hit after hit after hit. Microsoft pumped the brakes in 2015 for the most part, preparing for Gen 9, and now here we are in Gen 9, and we're getting the same thing. And we're getting wait longer, right? So when you talk to anybody who's excited for the Xbox, they'll say to you, just wait a little longer. And I sit there and I say, I've been waiting since 2015, man. You know what I mean? Like, where's the new stuff? Like, where is it? Like, so that's my point. I think that Microsoft needs new leadership. I say it all the time. And I mean more than just the switching of people and personnel at 343. Because when Donnie Matrick left, right? And everybody was like, yeah, Donnie's gone. everybody who was in line just took one step to the right. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a massive change.
I want to kind of put on our rose-colored glasses for a second and let's reflect for a little bit during the Donnie D days. Like, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want to talk about some of the stuff you enjoyed during the 360. Like, let's give the 360 real quick. And
you want to do a 360 tribute session? Crapgamer, I'll play the piano while Crap speaks.
No, I mean, and Trip and CC chime in. I mean, you guys were,
man. Conquer Live and Reloaded. That was my shit.
Oh yeah.
You mean on the 360? What did I love about it?
Yeah, let's put on our rose-colored glasses.
Man.
Let's talk about.
You don't need rose-colored glasses. Crap can put glasses on. He can put glasses on with no lenses. He'll tell you everything.
Even right away, man. Call of Duty 2 was a console exclusive. Perfect Dark Zero. They had let me think. They had Saints Row was an exclusive. The first one was
around Fable 2.
Yeah. Well, Fable 2 came out in 2008. Probably my favorite. Yeah, probably my favorite. Fable 3 came out in 2010. They rushed it. Wasn't as good, but still, I still liked it. You had Halo. Mass Effect was an exclusive. Mass Effect 2 was exclusive for a year. BioShock was exclusive for a year. Gears of War, I mean, come on. That just amazing. Just what they were able to accomplish with this stuff. What was that?
Ninja Gaiden Black was 360, right?
Yeah. Well, Ninja Gaiden Black was original Xbox.
Oh, original.
And then they had Ninja Gaiden 2 and 3, which weren't as good. Those were Xbox 360. But they even had like some of the smaller stuff, like I think 99 Nights or something, and 99 Nights 2. They had a very big variety. They had Project Gotham Racing 3 and 4, the first Forza Horizon, which might be the best. I think Forza Motorsport 3 was probably the best racing game of could have been the best sports like racing game that I ever played. Just looking at the games that they had was just really incredible. Like,
just the birth of all those indie games too.
Alan Wake. Oh, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. They even had really good. They really even had good stuff like Blue Dragon. You know what I mean? They had Amped 3, I believe. They did Fable 2, Fable 1 remastered. They did Dead Rising 1. They did damn, I got so many games I'm looking at.
They did Elder Scrolls Morrowind, which I was really pissed about that it wasn't on PlayStation, because I remember watching G4 TV and they were playing Morrowind. I was like, I've never seen a game like this before. This is
you mean Oblivion?
No, Morrowind. No, 3. Oblivion was 4. So Oblivion did come out for PS3 and I was hooked. That's what got me into Bethesda games is Oblivion and Trip. I know me and you can talk all day about Oblivion.
Oh goddamn, I know.
I'm not gonna lie. As a
1,500 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my thing. Like Xbox, gives you guys all these exclusives, right? We love to talk about mindshare. I remember when every single gaming commercial had an Xbox, that little Xbox flash card right after it. Marking rates up and down, left, right. So it's like when people, complain about Donnie D with the whole and I understand the whole DRM thing 100%. And if that was why they got him out, then good riddance. But when I look at the 360, they were kicking Sony's ass up, down, left, and right.
You know what the funny thing is though? Donnie D had pledged $1 billion for new AAA exclusives for the Xbox One. He announced that when they announced it. He's like, we're setting aside $1 billion for new exclusives. And they showed off. The funny thing was, for as much hate that they got, between the announcement in May of 2013 and then at E3, they announced new AAA exclusives. They had announced Rise, Son of Rome. They announced Titanfall. They announced Sunset Overdrive. And they announced Quantum Break. Those are 4 AAA exclusives. Here we are, all these years later, and they only announced one which I guess AAA, which would be Avowed, but that's probably not coming out till 2023. So that's an incredibly long wait. I was expecting that they would have come out with, an announcement for probably, at least 3 to 4 new AAA exclusive, new IP, and they might have that down the road, right? Like, we don't really know. Somebody might go, well, what about what the hell is that Rare game that they're working on? I don't know, but it's a small group.
You said Rare.
Yeah. Everwild. Yeah. Like we don't know what that is. They don't even know what that is yet.
Yeah, and they just lost the director for that game.
Yeah, so they don't even have gameplay for that yet. So is that a AAA? Is it? There's only a small group of people working on that. I don't really know, but again, just even looking at, and I have my 360 games set up. Was like Quake 4 was there, and they had Crackdown 1 was really good.
Unreal Tournaments.
Yeah, Unreal Tournament. They did. I love Viva Pinata. I thought that was great. They did Lost Odyssey, which is really good. Like I said, Alan Wake was probably one of my favorite games. Again, they really lost out on some stuff. Like I wish they would have bought, BioWare, because I really thought that those games really had a home more on Xbox than anything else.
Yep.
Even going back into the original Xbox with KOTOR 1 and 2, and then you had clearly Jade Empire was a really good game on there, and then Mass Effect. Again, you could always kind of just go, well, what happened? But I feel like Mass Effect kind of really lost something. This generation, like I don't know what the hell happened there. It's like they got Mooch and Crap making it or something. But yeah, stuff fell apart. Like this entire generation was not nearly as good in terms of the quality games, in my opinion, as last gen. You can say what you want about, we were stuck with that hardware for a long time, but it was like developers really knew what the hell they were doing. It's like we got 3 Dead Space games, all those Gears games. We got some real God of War games. We got 3 Uncharted games. 3 Mass Effect games. Like we got really good content. How many? Like when Assassin's Creed was really good, because Assassin's Creed. I'll tell you what, 2007. Quite possibly the best year in gaming ever. Halo 3, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, Assassin's Creed, Mass Effect. All those games came out in 2007. BioShock. Right, 2007, folks. I'm telling you, that was a fantastic year.
And then you had and let's not even forget, and I've said it like maybe twice right now so far, but like I'll say it again. Fight Night Round 3, February 2006, when that came out for the 360, it looked better. That knockout system was amazing. It was the game where all teenagers like myself were going to everyone's friend's house and playing that game. Madden looked incredible. NBA Live looked incredible. Like all the sports games looked better and felt better on the 360.
Yeah, it was more powerful than the PS3, just because developers couldn't really optimize the cell engine. And I know Dallas, I know you can speak a little more about that.
So one of the
I was talking about the cell engine of for PS3. And how developers, you being a developer yourself, going from x86 to this weird new chip made between Sony and Toshiba, and then back to x86. That's why we don't.
It took a while though, right? Like eventually, like The Last of Us looked good on it. Metal Gear Solid 4 looked really good on it, but it took like late into the generation for them to make games that looked pretty good on the PS3.
Yeah. No, go ahead, CC.
Oh no, I was just saying some of the noticeable games that were coming out on 360 were definitely some of those indie games. Some of the ones that I truly personally appreciate.
Trials. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Played the living shit out of that game.
The great thing about the great thing about indie games then was the best of the best made it, right?
Yeah.
And then nothing else did. Now, literally, if you guys wanted to get together and put out an indie game, you could do it. And you know what I mean? I mean, look, Soda Drinker Pro is a thing. It's made in Microsoft Paint, I think. Again, listen, and this is what I said too, all right? Like, because if you look at this, and I think it has a little bit of credence to it. The first Ori game came out in 2014. There wasn't a bunch of really great side-scrolling platformers like that, and it did really well. I think it did 5 million in sales or something. The second one got 2 million quote unquote players, despite it being widely more available with a lot more consoles and stuff out there. The reason being is since 2014, how many side-scrolling platformer indies have we had? Like 1 million of them. Okay, like I got a ton of them. They give them away to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, please talk about my game. On a podcast or something. Okay, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It's like say something about the game. And it's like okay. Yeah, exactly. So, at the end of the day, it kind of is what it is. Like we got 1 million of them, and there's so many indie games. There's not really a quality control, and that's realistically what really hampered gaming back during the gaming crash of like the 80s, right? Is you had all these games but no quality control. That's why Nintendo invented that quality, that seal of approval, so that you knew you were getting something good and not some shovelware crap. Right now, we just get all this shovelware. You go load up that store, you don't know what half the stuff is. It's ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. Game Pass has a lot of these random indies. So it's like, yeah, while the number looks good on paper, like, oh, we got all these games.
That's why I implore, Nova, you could even do it now. And you don't have to. You can do it on another show. I always implore people. I say, go ahead while you're boasting Game Pass. Like, just go ahead and open it up and read what's on there. And once you get past the 5 or 6 big headlining names, which are older games as it is, then it starts to get into, there's a lot of 360 back compact games. There's a lot of the shovelware stuff in there. There's just stuff that's in there it's filler. And that's what it gets back to when you say, why did Microsoft buy ZeniMax? They bought them because they need to fill the holes. Right? And Crap's, it's a good thing I didn't chime in when Crap was giving his spiel a bit ago, when he said, do you realize the latest value title that was in Game Pass? And when he said that, he came out and said Gears 5. I was going to say Red Dead Redemption 2. That was the last one that I say, wow, if I was a Game Pass owner, but then as I am a Game Pass owner, and I looked at them, they're like, Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to Game Pass. And I'm like, well, I already played that twice. I'm not going to play it again because it's in there. I'm not going to be sitting there on my couch playing Red Dead Redemption 2 a third time, being like, value. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, at that point, it's like I played it already. It's just, if you saw a great movie and someone's like, you want to go see it again? You go, okay. Then someone says, you want to go see it again? And I'm like, I got something else I can do for 3 hours, dude, to be honest with you. It's like, that's the thing. It's just like, I don't need to do that and play that 30, 40 hour game again. But my point being is that if you look through the list, it's not as impressive as a lot of people think from a distance.
Right now, it's really not.
I do definitely agree with you on the list, and it definitely has some work to do. And I'm
They're working on it, right? That's what we that's going to be the main
working on it. Definitely working.
Right. So I mean, Trip and CC, you guys got to start making some bumper stickers and start handing them out to your fans. Be like, we're working on it. See you soon.
That's how a lot of the reviews were like, right? On all the reviews that came out today, they're like buy it on sale. Wait a bit. Like, it's here, but it's not here yet.
That's a great point, Dollar. Like, in all honesty, that a lot of the reviews said, great piece of machinery, great tech, everything feels good, but I really got nothing to judge it on. You know what I mean? It's like if you had this protege, right, and he's going into college, and he's just this like unbelievable mind, like a Doogie Howser. Right now, I'm really dating myself, but like a Doogie Howser, MD, right? This protege, and then you're like, well, let me see his, and you're like, well, he hasn't taken a test yet. Well, what? Like, I get that when you talk to him, he's intelligent, but where's his test? Well, he hasn't taken a college test yet. Well, that's what I'm saying. There's no way to really test the device until you have a first-party AAA game really pushing the engine on this thing, right? So here we're sitting there. It's. I think one of the best articles I saw was they said one of the most powerful machines that has no gas in it. Right? It's if you have the best engine in a car, and I'm like, all right, let's see how this puppy goes. I'm gonna see what 0 to 60. It's out of gas. Well, all right. No doubt it's a powerful car, but if it's not moving, what are we doing? So like that's the whole thing here. And I've had this conversation for probably the past 6 weeks on Crossfire, and I don't mean it to be funny. I'm genuinely mean it. I'm like, when someone's like, I can't wait. Oh my God, I can't wait. November 10th. And I'm like, okay, please enlighten me and the audience and anybody within earshot of you. What are you playing on Tuesday? And I've gotten answers like Sekiro. I've gotten Gears Tactics. I've gotten Destiny. And I've gotten Gears 5 and Halo Master Chief Collection. Now, could you imagine if we were in the middle of, not the middle, but let's say a year ago, right? You go back a year ago. And Trip was like, yo, Mooch, I am dying for a game to play, dude. Listen, you play a lot of games. What do you recommend? And I'm like, Trip, I got you, man. I got you. Okay, this is easy. This is a no-brainer. Sea of Thieves. You'd be like, what? What? And then I'm like, no. I'm sorry. My bad, Trip. I shouldn't have said that, man. Sekiro. What? You'd be like, what? That's not exciting to him, right? Like, you either played Sekiro when it came out. And if you did, you already played it twice. Are you excited to play it again? I mean, maybe you are. But that's not a next-gen feeling. Like, when I brought home my SNES back when I was a kid, man, like, I played Super Mario World the minute it came out. and eyes lit up. It was a new controller. That's the other thing. You know, the control is the same controller. Like, it's literally, if you're like, I can't wait to get my hands on the new controller, just pick up your Xbox One controller right now. You got it. It's there.
The controller already. Exactly. I know. It doesn't need to really change.
Trip, listen. Trip, what's the best car you think in your personal opinion? What's the best car?
Best car overall?
In your opinion. You can't have a wrong answer.
Ferrari Enzo.
Okay. Guess what? Ferrari definitely has a new version of they don't just go, and now the new Ferrari, and it's the same one from 30 years ago, right? You keep making improvements. There's always something to get better. And they're better in this in this next generation is a share button, which came out in 2013. So that doesn't hold water with me, man. It's already good enough. Like, for $500, do better. Sorry.
I'm not paying $500 for a controller, but I see what you're saying.
Trip, let me go one step further just to give you a better example. Would you or would you not, if I can go visit Trip from 8 years ago, would you or would you have not told me the 360 controller is the best controller on the market?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, so why did they change it?
Oh, the Elite controller is super similar. It's heavy like the 360.
It's heavier than the 360.
Oh, it's
but
beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh, my
it is.
God.
But do you see my point? You're okay with them going from the 360, which was perfect, to perfecter, but now you're saying we're at perfecter.
No, I like the 360 controller better until I held the Elite controller.
That's fine. But I'm saying to you, like, you just want to make movements to go forward in technology. Everything needs to go right. Why do you buy if you're getting the same thing you already have? Like, that's fool's gold. So my point being is that's my thing. So when you get home on Tuesday, you're going to pull out the same controller you already have, a box that plays no new games. So where's the excitement?
Oh, but the third-party games are what I'm excited for.
No, but I'm saying
you can play that on your Xbox One X.
Yeah, we're talking.
I'm trying to play with this on 4K and fucking 120.
Oh, Xbox One X is going to come pretty damn close, and I got news for you.
I didn't get a 1X.
Valhalla is not going to be in 120 on any box.
Oh, no.
Watch Dogs isn't going to be 120 on any box.
I didn't plan on playing those games.
You're just
I'm more a first-person shooter kind of guy.
It'll be 120 on my computer, though.
Oh, absolutely.
He said, don't worry, I'll be fine, though.
No, I mean, listen, again, this is the thing. It's a great debate. I say this to people all the time. I'm not bashing it. Like, if you legit are excited, like, when I got a news for you. This will stay with me. Like, on Tuesday, I'll literally be like, dude, Trip's excited about today. He's pumped as shit. Like, and guess what? I ain't going to ruin your day. I'm not going to ruin your day. I'm just saying, for a podcast, while you have an audience listening and you're sitting there and you're saying, okay, so what is it we're excited about? Like, the things you're excited about, Trip, are things that are features and functions that should come with the next generation, right? The 120 frames thing, that's on PS5 as well, right? That's part of the next generational leap.
I'm also playing with the people that I grew up with. I mean, that's also the great thing.
But, like, to be excited for something next gen is new. This is the
right
wave. So why am I gonna care about something old coming to something new? Nah, man. Show me some new shit with the new shit. You know what I mean? Show me.
That's my point.
I think you on that. I see you on that, but.
And Trip, it's not. This isn't a gang up on Trip by no means. But what I'm saying is the things that you would put down on paper and tell me and Cool Hand, be like, this is why I'm excited. What I'm going to say is, yes, of course, you cannot duplicate Halo over on the PS5. That's fine. But the 120 frame thing, and that's coming to that's coming to both consoles. And Valhalla's coming to both consoles. And so far, Valhalla and Watch Dogs are showing parity. So this, that's the thing that we've been saying for well over a year. It didn't matter about the teraflops. Both of these companies knew that they were going to be held in the spotlight on the hot seat for as close to 4K as possible and 60 frames. And both machines can do that, regardless if one is a tiny bit stronger than the other. It doesn't matter. Because the thing that the one has, this is the thing, everyone's going by that one number, the teraflops. And we've heard from multiple developers now. I mean, literally dozens of developers say that's not the say-all, end-all. There are things that Sony has in their box that they made custom that Microsoft doesn't have, right? So there's both boxes are going to be able to do this 120 thing. So that's all. Like, if you're like, well, I'm playing Call of Duty with my friends in 120 on Tuesday, Mooch. Okay, great. But the PlayStation fans are going to play in 120 on Call of Duty with exclusive content for a year that Xbox won't have on Thursday.
That's a long year, baby.
That's a long time. And then you talk about Bethesda. You talk about the Bethesda deal and the 2 new IPs that are coming out from Bethesda, Tokyo Ghostwire and Deathloop are PS5 timed exclusives. If that doesn't make you go jump out a window, figure that one out.
That was already known. So that's
but that's injury to insult. It's just crazy.
And when you play Deathloop, you'll be able to feel it on the PS5. So don't forget that.
Exactly. If my gun jams, my trick, the
that would drive me crazy. I turn that shit off.
At the end of the day, it's the example I give all the time. Is if you got 2 pizza places next to each other, both are offering $1 slice, but one's going to give you a small soda included. You're going to the soda, man, or at least 9 out of 10 times. Maybe once you ain't thirsty, or maybe once you got a half a can of Pepsi left in the car.
Yeah.
But listen, right? But the rest of the time, even if you got a full Pepsi in your car, you're like, screw that. I'll take the free drink.
The cold one, yep.
So my whole point is that Sony's kind of giving you everything that Microsoft's giving you day one, plus the exclusives, plus the exclusive content. Not just first party, but third party exclusive content. And then the injury to insult, which Microsoft doesn't care. They're going to get the money. But like from a consumer standpoint, you're also going to end up getting the first 2 games that come out of Bethesda that are new IP or timed exclusives with PS5. It's just, you can't make this shit up. You know, it's unbelievable. It's almost like if 2 pizza places were next to each other and they were $1 slice a piece, but one pizza place gave you the pizza place for the $1. You know, it's like you're getting a whole lot on the other side.
I understand, but like
that's
again,
just where I have a hard time. It's where I have a hard time.
It's just my friends have Xboxes again. This is the route of
absolutely.
I'll probably get a PlayStation before most of them because I do know 3 others that are planning on eventually getting one soon. But again, this is still a no-brainer for me.
Listen, Trip, do your thing, Trip. And as a matter of fact, I got to add Trip as a friend on Xbox because you know if he's that diehard and he's always going to be there playing those games, then I'm going to join up with him. I'm just saying to you that overall, when you look at it, you know, you just put things on paper. You look at what you're getting. And Trip, the thing that's kind of awesome about what you're saying is I really do. I love your allegiance to it. The only thing I got to say is your allegiance to it is legitimately if 2 of your friends end up listening to this show and call you like in 2 days, you're like, yo, I heard that whoever that Mooch guy is, he kind of made a hell of a point, dude. I'm actually going to throw my 5 beans down on PS5 next week. All of a sudden, Trip's going to be having that PS5 in a couple of days. You know what I mean? Like, that's how quick we can move.
That is the only possible way.
Right, exactly.
Absolute only possible way. Right?
But guess what?
You ain't budging me that easy. I pulled my day from E3. Or E3.
What was that, CC?
No, I said Fable caught my eye from the moment it was released. There's no way I'm changing, even if 3 of my friends
I told eat a fairy and you're sold?
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, and
I mean, that's the
nostalgia. Bro, even with the shitty brute face, I was still losing my shit over the Halo fucking.
I gotta give
losing my mind.
I'll give CC credit there, but CC, you do realize that Fable's like,
oh yeah,
way out.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something that speaks to my heart. And
are you getting a PS5, CC?
That is something I will probably do later down the road. But
okay.
And I got 5 Xboxes. You know, I can
definitely 5 Xboxes. He's losing money. He's losing money.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, listen. You know, let me tell you a story, CC. I don't think you're gonna have the same problem I did. I thought I was slick back in 2012. I remember how the Wii. Remember the not the Wii U, the Wii. How it caught fire and like I remember talking to people that I worked with who I didn't have kids at the time, but they were like, "Oh, my kids want a Wii and." Yo, I'll pay anything for that. You know, I'll pay $300. I'll pay $400. I don't care. I want it for Christmas. So when November, I believe it was November 2012, and the Wii U came out, I was like, yo, I'm going to be slick. I'm going to do what CC just did. I went and picked up 2 of the Wii U's, and I was like, I'm going to sell this shit. Yo, they couldn't get rid of it. Yeah. And I got stuck. I think I sold it to my buddy for like $20 less than I paid for. My point being is, you know, be careful how many of those Series X's you buy. You don't know how many of those you might get stuck with. It depends on the supply and demand. The thing is it's not a bad idea. I think you're going to make money on it because there's just not enough supply out there.
Yeah, we are under a pandemic, so
right. So I think he's going to make.
or
probably-
the Series S one of the Series S already, and it sold for 500. So I was just like, you know what, I'm cool with that.
Now, if you had a PS5 or so to sell, those things are going for upwards of $1,000.
Yeah, you probably
Oh,
get it.
I just saw a Series X actually sell on eBay for 900 plus 74 shipping.
Jesus.
Jeez,
Well,
man.
remember, those
people
people-
spending a lot of money to play no games, man, or old games.
Well, you know what? The people buying those, I can tell you right now. I mean, do I know? Like, no, but just a great guesstimate is like what I just said to you. I can tell you right now, those are parents like the kids really want the Xbox, and they're like, listen, I don't want the kid to wake up and have nothing under the tree that he wanted. So yeah,
But,
I'm
no,
paying
I
twice
think
for it, but the kid's smile's worth the extra money. So good
But
on them to do that.
want the PlayStation now, Mooch. I think the kids want the PlayStation now. It's the cool system at this point. It's the
I
Yeah.
actually have something to say about that. My one of my coworkers, right? His wife bought their son a Series X for Christmas, and I was, because he always hears me talk about PlayStation and stuff. So he was like, yeah, so we got one and whatever. The Travis Scott thing happens, right? Literally the following week, or this past week actually, he tells me, he's like, and man, I got something you're gonna like. My son, he was kind of whispering to me and say, hey dad, like, you've seen the whole Travis Scott thing, and like, I think I'm gonna lean PlayStation, like if you can get me a PS5. So now he's like trying to scramble, sell the Series X so he can get a PS5 on launch day. And again, what we were talking about last episode, Sony's doing it's a multi-pronged offense, right? So not only are they bringing the games, right? They're bringing the custom hardware, right? We got liquid cooling, and we got some other stuff we may have not seen yet. We haven't even seen what the new rebrand of PlayStation Now could. And again, and then third is the marketing, right? You get the guy who has the most pool among kids, arguably 14 to 21, 22. To be
because like what we're like, I'm 27 and I've been bumping Travis since 2011. You know what I mean? Like,
but as adults, we're kind of more like, that's he's doing that.
This guy,
Yeah, and I understand you. I understand you. Yeah, I understand you, but you have to understand that even though we might like his music or like him or he fell off, whatever, the kids, they saw the Travis Scott Fortnite. They love that. Everyone tuned in, right? Whether you played it or not, you saw it on YouTube. So the fact that they went and
McDonald's thing.
What was that?
The McDonald's thing. So many. I saw so many kids with that throughout the Maryland, DC, Virginia area buy the Travis Scott, Big Mac, or what's it called? Quarter pounder.
Yeah.
And
So
there was nothing special. The box didn't do nothing. It didn't say it's lit when you open the box. Like, it was plain.
again,
And they jumped on it because of the name.
it's marketing, and I think they're marketing geniuses with this. And yeah, they're definitely set up for next gen. Well, the interesting thing to watch is, February, right? Once the holidays are over, once people, got their tax money and spent it on whatever console they want, when supply is back and you can go into the store and buy a PS5 or Series X, then I think we'll start to see MPD, if Xbox is reporting it now. We'll see about that. We'll see where the split is, right? Because we know pretty early on to this current generation that's about to end, the split happened almost immediately. Again, around that time, February, the hardcore got their consoles, and then once the casual started picking it up, right? A lot of them listen to what that one or two hardcore player, they might listen. Oh, which one should I get? And PlayStation ran away with it, frankly. And I don't even want to bring up Switch because that's another black eye. But yeah, I mean,
Isn't that thing almost like 70 million now? Crazy.
Yeah, it's destroying things.
Yeah, it's
and
like,
with
man,
a
it's like,
busted controller too.
yeah.
I mean, it just goes to show you, man, great exclusives will get people hooked. You know what I'm saying? Like, just honestly.
Nova's mentioned this a lot. Nintendo has done a good job. They just say, this is what it is. Like, take it or leave it. You know what I mean? Buy our shit. You want to play Mario? This is what it's going to be. This is what it's going to be on. This is how it's going to look. You want it or you don't.
Yeah, I mean, how long has Breath of the Wild been? I think they just dropped it finally, but Breath of the Wild came out in 2017. It's literally been $60 since then until I think about a couple weeks ago. So It just shows you a system that's running on 2012, 2013 hardware is selling exclusives like there's no other. They're breaking records.
You got Grand Theft Auto 5 out here still going for $44.99.
Exactly, right? Because they know that it's the quality, and they know it's like Rockstar almost has their own seal of approval as well.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, just for fun, man, just being a gamer, being excited. I'm watching the footage you have playing right now, Nova.
It's Demon Souls, isn't it?
Dude, how amazing! Like, I can't believe that I'm in 1 week's time. I'll be playing that game. I'm sorry, that's mind blowing to me.
It's like that 60 FPS is so buttery smooth. It looks so nice.
Absolutely amazing. Just the lighting.
The game looks great. It's just I know for a fact it ain't my bag.
Crap! If you get it, we will literally. Since these games have a multiplayer, you can like usually call people into your world.
Yeah,
that's how you hook people in. Because that.
Yeah, honestly, Crap. It's true. It is true.
The problem is, Mooch. Remember when I played? What the hell was that damn game? Diablo 3 with you guys. I had no idea what the hell was going on.
Yes, well, that's not fair. That's not fair. They brought you into the what is that there? Now I'm not going to remember. I'm just not in a Diablo mindset
or whatever it is. Or...
They brought you into the seasons, which was absolute mayhem. People are maxed out and they have ultimate gear, and you're like, "This is my first time playing it." No, we should have started from the very beginning and just ran you through the initial part of Diablo. Is absolutely amazing. The lore, the township, it's amazing. Everything there. The acting's not good in it, but nonetheless, it's not the point. It's just a lot of fun. To start you where we started you is insane. It's like if I started you in the Chalice dungeons of Bloodborne, you'd be like, "What the hell is this?" It's just not the place to start the game. That was the bad move.
Well, Dollar Sign brought up a good point. Like he got roped in that same way, right? I bought Bloodborne, right? Brand new, played it for 5 minutes, hated it. It collected dust, right? This is back when me, Dollar Sign, and some other people, we had a Destiny clan, right? We were playing raids all the time. Like that was the only game we played, Destiny 1. And I remember when
the DLC came out.
The Dark Souls 3 was like just about to come out, and I remember them telling me, "Oh, like everyone in the clan was going to get one." So I was like, I mean, the commercial looks cool. I may check it out. I didn't really enjoy Bloodborne, and what happened?
They walked me in like 6 months earlier with the Bloodborne DLC.
Yeah, and again, you fight a boss or two, you start to understand the mechanics, and once it clicks, right there. I think everyone gets this when they play a Souls game. Once the game clicks for you, you just have this huge grin on your face, and then you just feel like, oh, I'm tackling everything, I'm knocking out. And shout out to you, Mooch. I saw you got the plat in Bloodborne, like that.
Yeah, man.
Amazing, So
yeah, that new Marion Queen is she's not. I don't know if she's a hard boss, but she's really hard to get.
That's what I was going to say. She was actually of all the well, not all of them, of course. The first 3 or 4 Chalice dungeons, the enemies are quite simple, especially if you're OP. But the last 3 before her were absolutely a bear. She was an easy fight. That was an absolute nightmare. And I also thought that Koss was in the DLC was one of the worst enemies to have to ever defeat. And thank God they didn't put him in the Chalice dungeons to have to defeat twice for the trophy.
That's whatever it is you're talking about for you.
Mooch, I mean, Crap, sorry. I'm telling you, once you get that feeling, once it clicks for you, you're going to go back and play Bloodborne. You're going to be like, okay. Look,
I'll tell you this right now. At least try it out.
Listen, I got news for you guys. Bringing him into Demon Souls, I'm telling you right now, is a much easier feat than throwing him into Bloodborne.
If someone wants to donate and get me that, then by all means. But $70 is a hell of a price tag for a game that I might not like or probably won't play very much. So, but I do got to go, guys, because it is after 9. Like,
Crap's at a 2 hour. Yeah, you guys are lucky. You got Crap for over 2 hours. That's crazy.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because we had hit the 2 hour mark. It's been a great show. So we'll start to go ahead and close out and do our shout outs. I just really, 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 really want to thank you guys and the opportunity you guys gave me on the MNC show and, just helping support this whole YouTube thing and, definitely big inspiration. So it's cool to finally, again, like I said before the show, see everything finally come full circle and, have you guys. It's been a great experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. It was a
Great
good time.
show.
I appreciate you guys having us on and stuff like that, man. It was a good time talking next generation. It's an exciting time, man. I tell you what, enjoy it. Especially you guys are young. Enjoy it and just have a good time with it, because I think that wanes a little bit when you get a little bit older. Just like when I was younger, man, I used to be able to stay up all night playing those multiplayer games, and now it's like single player is mostly where it's at for me these days.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. But yeah, so I say totally take the time out to enjoy yourself and just have a good time with it. And we never know how many more of these we're going to get or whatever. So I just always say just take it and enjoy it and have a good time with it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but yo, I appreciate it because like this is, like I said, it's like surreal, basically. Going from hip hop gamer to Puerto Rock to now you guys, man. Like this is real.
Yeah, we definitely
Appreciate that, man. Absolutely.
We enjoy it, man. Yeah,
Great
for
show.
sure.
Great show tonight.
All right, and in that case, we'll start to go into our outros. iTrip, we'll start with you. What are you playing right now, and where can they find you?
Right now, since talking with you guys the other fucking day, you guys got me playing Far Cry 5 again.
Okay.
But playing that. But on Xbox, I'm iTrip2. On Twitter, I'm iTrip2_.
All right. CC, man, what are you playing right now? Where can they find you?
Oh man, you already know what I'm playing. I've been saying it for the past 5 weeks. It feels like it's the road to 200 in Fortnite. I just want these stupid holographic skins. Once I get them, I'll be done, and I can finally play something else. But catch me at CC1 on Twitter. Xbox, it's Budzslightyear, and IG 2020 WRXSTI.
All right.
Oh, and I just do want to throw in, I have been streaming in here lately, so go ahead, subscribe to my Twitch, please. I'm trying to get affiliate. That would really help me out.
For sure. Yeah, make sure to drop that. Drop your Twitch in the chat, man.
Yeah.
Okay, great. CoolHand, what are you playing right now? Where can they find you?
Currently, I just got rid of my PS4 today. I traded it in for, Xbox robbed me like they always do. But currently, I am playing with my new Metroid Samus Blaster and my Broly statue. And man, I'm gearing up for PS5, baby.
All right. You already know, baby.
And you can find me at CoolHandCruz on Twitter, Instagram, and same thing. I'm currently working on some YouTube content as well as getting my Twitch stream, ready to roll. I'm kind of just waiting on PS5 at this point. But yeah, it's CoolHandCruz, COOLHAND Cruz, CRUZ. Hit that follow, baby.
All right. $, what are you playing right now, man? Where can they find you?
Yes, I've been grinding that Ghost of Tsushima raid. I beat the first 2 chapters. Don't ask me how chapter 2 went. Just got chapter 3 left. Yeah,
You're
cool
welcome.
hands know how chapter 2 went. I've been playing some Star Wars Fallen Order on my Odyssey G9, and it's been pretty insane. I feel like I'm a Jedi. They can find me on SoundCloud. C_$. I'll be
That's in
liking
the-
some hot tracks.
All right. And for our guest, Mooch, what are you playing right now, bro? And where can they find you?
Believe it or not, so you kind of, I gotta say shout out to the dev team that gave me a review copy. I'm playing Ghost Runner on PS4.
Oh, nice.
And listen, I got news for you. It's I'd almost want to say crap, try it out, but I know it's not his bag. But it's kind of like if Titanfall 2 like ran into Trials, and I'm trying to think of something else where it was just but it's like the Titanfall 2 wall jumping, but then you got to speed it up by about 350%. It's just a very fast paced puzzle kind of thing. It's just, I don't know, it came out of nowhere for me. And I applied for the review code. I got it, and I'm loving it. I've been putting some screenshots up. I'm probably going to try and do just a quick 5-minute review overall of it this weekend. Put it up on the channel just because I think a lot of people would enjoy it, but they don't know about it. So it's one of those games. So I'm playing that, and believe it or not, I'm real close to getting the. You wouldn't notice it if you checked on the trophies, but when you complete the game, they all kind of pop. About 75% of the way I'm trying to platinum 1886, so I'll have that done hopefully by Tuesday. And then what else is going down? Yeah, that's probably just kind of dabbling here and there with stuff, just having fun. Because like I said, I'm literally going to be putting all of my attention into Miles Morales and Demon Souls next week. So whatever I'm playing is just something kind of short and sweet to kind of fill the time before the new consoles get out. So yeah, man, and then I'm looking forward to playing some Destiny, the new Beyond Light on Xbox and PC. So there's a lot of stuff going on, man. There's not enough time in the day. I don't give a shit. All of us home more than we ever were. There's still not enough time in the day to play all these games. So it's a good time to be a gamer, man. That's all I can say.
And then where can they find you, man?
Oh, absolutely, buddy. It's at Mooch1978 on Twitter. It's also the Mooch78 on YouTube and Twitch. Guys, we are going to be twitching out all next week on Demon Souls. So, right, you like that? Thank you. The Mooch78 on Twitch. Do go over there.
That and Moochtober. I mean, very inventive stuff.
I'm doing what I can, crap. It's hard. And it's not an easy word to make correlate with others in the dictionary. But nonetheless, we try our best. Great show tonight, guys. Also to hang out with Dolla. Also, I want to say thank you so much to CoolHandCruz while I'm here for all the outstanding donations and support he does for the Mooch78's YouTube channel. Thank you, Cool Hand. Appreciate that. Great to meet Trip here. And, Trip, good on you to hold your ground and do your thing. I think your points were well made. Just wondering if in 5 years after you have your first kid, if you say the same thing. We'll tune back in for that. And shout out to CC too as well. Awesome points he made. Great to be podcasting. And also the talented Nova who put this channel together and helps us on MNC. Thanks, Nova. Do check us out. Crossfire 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night and MNC on Craps channel Sunday at 11:30. Guys, enjoy the weekend and new consoles are on the rise.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Crap, what are you playing right now, man? And where can they find you?
Uh-oh.
Do we
Wait a minute. He's here. Crap.
Crap, you there, man?
Got a muted mic?
No, it looks like he might have a problem with his mic because he just said something and it didn't come through.
Yeah.
I'll do this for you. I don't know what games he's playing. Wait a minute.
Oh.
He's alive. Wait.
Crap.
It's a cliffhanger of the century.
Oh.
Well, I'll do this for him. MNC is going to be on his channel that's on Crapgamer Reviews on YouTube. And there he is.
Wait.
Cliffhanger.
Hello?
There it is. There it is.
There he is.
I don't know what the hell that problem was, but yeah, Crap Gamer Reviews. I'm just playing Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. They released it for like $15, so I've just been kind of goofing around with that. I haven't really been much feeling any of the bigger games right now. I'm kind of waiting for the new consoles to come out, play some new stuff, and then maybe want to have some downtime, go back to some of the old stuff. But usually I never have any downtime to go back to the old stuff. So, I'm really excited more for the new stuff that's coming out. And other than that, it's just a very exciting time. Make sure you guys come check out MNC this Sunday. Should be a good show. And enjoy your day. Enjoy your night, guys. Thanks.
Good, you too, man. Enjoy it.
Again, thanks
Thank you guys for coming on.
And
No problem.
on that note, $, please transition out. We will catch y'all next week. Same time, same place. Insomniacs Podcast out.
Don't sleep.